PNN Rail Station be changed to the Sports, Entertainment, and Convention District Rail Station, also known as the SEC District Station.
Yeah, signage and rail maps are expected to be changed by the end of this year before the soccer world flocks to our city next year. The board says it worked with surrounding businesses to come up with a name that is not associated with any businesses. The crackdown continues on phones in Georgia schools as Governor Kemp prepares to sign legislation barring them from K through 8 classrooms around the state. High schoolers in one metro Atlanta district will see new rules as well.
Beginning in the fall, Marietta high school students will have new restrictions on their phone usage, says Superintendent Dr. Grant Rivera.
At this point, the board would like to give students flexibility to have access to their phones during class changes and during the cafeteria. However, there is a zero tolerance policy if students are to pull phones out during instructional time.
Rivera says if a student is caught with their phone during class time, it will be taken and a parent or guardian will have to come and pick it up. Rivera says this will be a pilot program for the fall. In Cobb County, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
Heads up for drivers in northwest Atlanta. A section of Bolton Road will be closed for the next 2 weeks for utility upgrades. DOT crews say they'll be working on the road between Hollywood and Marietta roads on weekdays starting today through May 23rd. Local traffic can still access Bolton Road using Paul Avenue, Collins Drive, or Parkview Lane. Other vehicles, though, will have to use detours. Officers will be in the area to help direct traffic. And we're seeing more signs that travel is weakening here in the U.S.
Expedia said it saw weaker than expected demand in the U.S. at the start of the year. The company cut its full-year outlook for overall bookings and revenue. Expedia is known for its namesake travel website, and it also owns Vrbo for short-term rentals. The company is especially exposed to the U.S. market. Rivals such as Booking and Airbnb generate more of their revenue abroad. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
It's 9:03. The Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start with Triple Team Traffic and Smile on Mark McKay.
Traffic red alert, Spaghetti Junction. All lanes are being held. Traffic trooper Tommy first to tell us about this crash that is not only impacting I-85 northbound, but also the ramps from 285 east and west to I-85 north and Spaghetti Junction. All lanes are shut down. 85 northbound at Pleasantdale Road, north of I-285. Buford Highway is the way to go. Head up to Buford Highway and get back on I-85 north at Jimmy Carter Boulevard. Travel advisory on 285 on the south side. Ashley Frasca.
This crash has had 2 left lanes blocked for some time now on the southwest perimeter, 285 north just before Washington Road. Westbound, you're already slow back at Riverdale Road, and it's beginning to impact the ramps off of 85 north onto 285, so just continue in those through lanes. Take 85 north into downtown. Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly cloudy today, high 81, lows tonight in the low 60s. Widespread rain showers for tomorrow morning into tomorrow afternoon, high 65. Rain showers continue for Sunday, high 67.
65 degrees right now in Lithia Springs, 67 in Conyers, 66 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Jed Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
.05 on this gorgeous Friday morning. Yes, Friday, we made it, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. So much to talk about. Really excited. Coming up in exactly 1 hour, Congressman Buddy Carter is going to join us live in studio. He has thrown his hat into the Senate race ring. He'll be joining us live for, I believe, his first exclusive one-on-one interview, at least on radio, since he determined that he is going to run for the Georgia Senate seat. Reaction to that interview, probably, from political analyst Bill Crane. He's going to join us at 10:35. And don't forget, 5K a day bonus splits continues during the Mark Arum Show. Yesterday, we gave away $1,000 to Linda and Marietta. Hopefully, you will win the $1,000. I'll give you that keyword sometime between 10 a.m. and 10:18 a.m. right here on WSB Radio. I have to start. I'm not going to lie. As soon as we got off the air yesterday, the white smoke started billowing from the Vatican, Deborah, and I was mad. I was like, why couldn't it have happened during our show, right? I love being behind this mic for historic occasions, and I was upset. But now in hindsight, it worked out well because we had phenomenal coverage here on WSB Radio, Caiaccio and Chandler, and we had this priest on who was amazing. But it enabled me to... in hindsight, I'm glad it happened after we were off the air because I was able to get home, watch on TV, listen on to WSB Radio, and really soak in the moment of the announcement of the new pope. In case you missed it, this is what it sounded like as we now know Pope Leo emerged onto that balcony. Right as the white smoke came out of the chimney on top of the Sistine Chapel, Robert Francis Prevost? Anyway, it doesn't matter. He's Pope Leo the 14th now, and I was just transfixed, and poor Deborah, I was texting her during it while you were trying to enjoy it as a true Catholic, but I'm actually glad it didn't happen on the air, Deborah, because you and I were able to, not have to worry about work while we were watching this history unfold.
Well, I mean, I kind of was. The minute it happened, I started texting people like, oh, I need this for tomorrow. But yeah, I was watching it live. It was very exciting when it came on. And my favorite was when they would have these shots of the sisters or the nuns.
Yeah.
And you could just see how emotional and
my
happy
God.
they were. It must have been just so exciting to be in St. Peter's Square yesterday.
And not, I mean, there were kids, like little kids that were crying. I mean, it was, oh man, I at first I was mad that it didn't happen during our show, but now I'm glad because I was able to just literally soak it all in and watch it. I got to admit, I was pump faked when the first guy came out. I thought that was
the cardinal.
Yeah, I thought that, I was like, I don't recognize that guy. Who's that? And then I say, oh, he's announcing that we have a new pope in Latin, and then I'm stunned. The odds makers are stunned too, Deborah. It's an American.
Totally stunned.
That was not. He was a 40-1 long shot, Judd. I know you didn't. I did not bet on it. I thought that was sacrilegious, but a 40-1 long shot turned out to be the next pope.
Yeah, less than 2% chance, I think. Something like that. So, yeah. Was your money on somebody else? Or
I
what?
know I didn't bet.
Oh,
but
okay.
I thought I was leaning toward. I thought it would be the pope from not the pope, the cardinal from the Philippines.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought because it's that area of the world is a growing Catholic population, and they called him the Asian Francis.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that I thought I was expecting to see the Filipino cardinal, but Pope Leo. We're going to go in depth on this. Dual citizenship in the United States and Peru. And I mean, from all accounts, just a brilliant dude. Speaks Latin, obviously, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, and his native tongue in English.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, you think of a pope, you don't think of them speaking English. You don't think of them being American. I don't know. It's just it's so interesting to kind of sink in.
Yeah. Deborah, the fact that it's the first American pope fills you with pride, surprise. What were your reactions?
I mean, a little of everything. I was surprised. I didn't think they would pick an American pope just because, like, the religious climate here in the United States isn't the easiest to explain. But I was also very happy because I think he's quite similar to Francis, and maybe that will change the outlook of Americans and religion, by having an American pope.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was surprised. I didn't know. I was surprised that he picked the name Leo as well. But yeah, I was shocked.
We're going to go in depth on that. Katie Prejean McGrady, papal expert's going to join us live at 9:35. But why not? Let's go straight to Rome. Was a front row seat to history. Joining us from CBS is Seth Doan. Seth, good morning. Thanks for your time. Must be a crazy 24 hours for you.
Yeah, 24. Try a couple of months between the time with Francis in the hospital, of course, which was nail-biting. We learned how close to death he was a few times later from his doctors. Then that surprise back in the center of St. Peter's Square for Easter, the surprise death the following day. It has been a roller coaster here. And I was just actually sitting up, we were doing the morning show, and I was sitting out looking out, we're just over St. Peter's, the Basilica in the square, and it is so calm and so tranquil right now. And, I'm not Catholic, but it's interesting to think about the continuity of this Pope. You see him stepping out as a guy people are running to Google, now Pope Leo the 14th. And he is the 267th successor to St. Peter. He is now running the Catholic Church and chief executive of Vatican City, and there is this kind of calm sense of continuity. But certainly for people who were supporters of Pope Francis, all indications are that this is a pope who will follow in the mold in many ways of Pope Francis, though perhaps a little bit more traditional in the way he approaches doctrinal issues. There, he has some of the same kind of approach as Francis in terms of being a pastor, but maybe a little bit more of a traditionalist on teachings.
See, a centrist pick almost in some regards there. What was the reaction from the crowd when he first came out on the balcony, Seth?
It was shock, honestly. We were there. I was amid 100 or so thousand people in the square, and the sun was setting behind St. Peter's Basilica, so we were all kind of trying to see exactly what was happening. There were big, what do they call it, like jumbotrons kind of up to watch. But when it went through the crowd, we all kind of stood up. It was like the whole crowd got 2 feet taller. And then people were just shocked. I was next to a guy from Paraguay whose jaw just dropped, and he said, "An American Pope?" And I said to the colleagues I was with, I was like, "Wow, they just said Prevost. That's the Cardinal Prevost. That's the American." It was said always that he's the first American Pope. It was always kind of said around these parts that you couldn't have an American Pope because you wouldn't have a superpower also at the head of the church. Obviously, I am understanding from people that we've spoken within the Vatican, the cardinals did not feel that geography mattered in this case. But you also look at Prevost's background, and this is a guy who was born in Chicago but became a naturalized citizen of Peru, speaks at least 5 languages, Spanish fluently, lived here in Rome. So he is certainly an American, but has a broad global perspective as well.
Very international travels. Now, Seth, you're among many of a cadre of Vatican watchers. So I was surprised as American. I would imagine most Vatican watchers were shocked as well.
Absolutely shocked. But, now we've been reading all of the, looking back, people are saying, actually, I interviewed one man, Austin Ivory, who is a papal biographer for Francis, and he said to me the other day, it's going to be an American Pope. He said it on TV, and we used the piece. And after we used it, I thought, should we have used it? Because he's so definitive. And it turns out he's right. So we went back and talked with him again this morning, and Irie said to us, listen, if you look at the qualifications, he has a lot of what the church, what these cardinals, at least, as you know, 108 of the 133 electors, the cardinal electors were made cardinals by Francis. So the question was always, has he kind of stacked the deck, so to speak, for someone in his mold, or in his effort to have such geographic diversity in the College of Cardinals, was there enough of a wild card, so many unknown votees? But it turns out it appears that this is someone that Francis had liked very well, had just elevated to cardinal in 2023. So his kind of ascension through the church ranks is quite fast.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Seth Doane from CBS News joining us live in Rome here on the Mark Arum Show. Again, not the American not mentioned as one of the favorites. I personally thought it would be the Cardinal from the Philippines. I thought, and I didn't bet on it, but I thought that would be logical. Yeah. Also, there were a couple of Italian Cardinals that thought, hey, let's bring this back to Italy. Yeah. Were the Italians in Rome upset that one of their guys wasn't selected the next pope?
I heard lots of people, just people who know I'm an American, Italian friends and such, saying, "Oh, congratulations, congratulations," last night. And there was certainly kind of, look, I think there is this sense of continuity here and a belief that the church will go forward. And I think there's an interest in the novelty of having an American here. Certainly people had their favorites. Matteo Zuppi, Archbishop of Bologna, was one of, it seemed that Cardinal Parolin, Pietro Parolin, the Vatican's number 2, he was the man to beat going into this. It was thought that he had kind of 40 votes of the 89 needed. So everyone had their favorites, but I think that there is a sense of, okay, we found a man, and let's move on. And certainly for Catholics, feeling like, okay, let's try to divide to heal some divisions within the church, and Prevost may be uniquely able to do that. He has some more conservative leanings, but he has kind of Francis's approach, and an English speaker. He could reach out certainly to America. We've been seeing declining numbers of Catholics in America. So I think a really interesting pick looking back.
Final quick question for you, Seth. The rapidity, how quickly he was selected, only 4 or 5 ballots. Surprised by how quickly he got done?
Yeah, Mark, I won't bore you with the history, but I was up in Viterbo earlier in the week, north of Rome, where the first conclave was. It lasted 1,006 days, which is why they started locking cardinals in to make them make a decision. They ended up taking the roof of the Palazzo off so that the elements would come in and kind of push along a decision. I think Vatican watchers all along knew that, or were saying that this would be quick, relatively quick, because the church wants to be seen as united, not divided.
Seth Doan, CBS News, Rome, front seat to history the last few months. Seth, really appreciate your time this morning, my friend.
Well, thanks, Mark.
There you go. I mean, this might be the last time a lot of us see a pope being selected like that. This pope hopefully will serve for 40, 50 years. And we might not see another. It was quite remarkable. We're going to continue our coverage of Pope Leo XIV. 9:35. She's been on with us throughout this entire process. Katie Prejean McGrady, papal expert, author, radio personality. She's going to join us live. Can't wait to go in depth with her on that. But first, we have a red alert in Spaghetti Junction. Not what we wanted to hear on a Friday morning. Live with the latest. Here's Mike Shields.
Yeah, unfortunately, not right now, Mark. All lanes are blocked. 85 northbound, just north of I-285 there in DeKalb County, and that has the on-ramps from 285 blocked as well. Getting on to I-85 northbound, there's a couple cars involved with this widely scattered crash, and they're hopefully going to get these vehicles over to the right shoulder, but for now, use Buford Highway as an alternate as you leave Doraville and Tucker and try to get into Norcross. Also, another red alert we just had clear to the right shoulder on the southwest leg of the perimeter. All lanes just reopening as I talk. 285 northbound, the Interloop at Washington Road. This report is brought to you by Georgia Commute Options. With Georgia Commute Options, you get more out of every mile, earn prizes, gift cards, and other cool deals when you switch from driving alone to a cleaner trip. More at mygco.com. I'm Mike Schultz, 95.5 WSB.
When news breaks. This is history in the making, and it's an awe-inspiring sight to see what's going on right now in Vatican City. We've got it covered.
You know, the window's opening, and the Cardinal Dean is stepping out onto the balcony.
Tune in often for the latest.
Cardinal Robert Prevost, he will choose for himself the name Pope Leo XIV.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station.
I bet it is safe to say you are sick and tired of home services companies that don't show up on time, don't fix it right, and then ghost you when you need them later. Hey, it's Chris Chandler. I have learned I don't have to worry about any of that because I only trust TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. TE Certified is a well-oiled machine. They gave me the highest level of communication and follow-up. They're on time, friendly, and fully stocked. And when I say TE is a well-oiled machine, an easy and seamless experience, from quick online scheduling to that personal level of communication before, during, and long after too, with their lifetime workmanship warranty. As an actual TE customer, I can tell they really do love my home too. I personally received their 5-star customer experience and I highly recommend them. TE Certified's well-oiled machine gives you peace of mind, and that's priceless.
TE Certified, we love your home.
Post Malone presents the Big Stadium Tour. 9-time Diamond Certified and 16-time Grammy Award-nominated phenomenon, Post Malone. His biggest headline tour this Sunday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Global superstar, Post Malone, with Jelly Roll and special guest Sierra Farrell. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
A company that you trust. Who comes to mind? Ragsdale has been a part of our home for years. They've been my go-to for a new HVAC system, blown-in installation, and electrical work that makes life more simple. They're on time and work with my busy schedule. Right now, get up to $1,700 off a brand new Carrier home comfort system and enjoy Ragsdale's own trusted 15-year parts and labor warranty. Learn why they have a 4.9 Google rating. Start at ragsdaleair.com. Ragsdale, the name I know you can trust.
Attention seniors, do you want more personalized healthcare with more one-on-one time with your doctor? Then join us at the grand opening of CenterWell Swanee. CenterWell offers senior-focused primary care that's centered on you. Celebrate with us on Wednesday, May 14th, near the Walmart off Interstate 85 here in Swanee, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Enjoy food, music, and more at this free community event. Plus, tour the new doctor's office and meet the care team. For details, visit cometocenterwellgeorgia.com. That's cometocenterwellgeorgia.com.
Grazie a Papa Francesco.
I can translate that for you. Thank you, Father Francis. There's 6 years of Italian, Deborah. Thank you, Father Francis. That, of course, was Pope Leo XIV coming in as he was announced yesterday at the Vatican. Just a really amazing, historic moment. You heard it all unfold here live on WSB Radio at 9:35, right after the news at 9:35. Katie Prejean-McGrady, papal expert author, is going to join us. She's been providing such great coverage for us here at the station all the way up to this. Can't wait to hear her reaction to the first American Pope. That was breaking news yesterday. No one saw that coming. Well, one dude apparently saw it coming, but I was not that one dude. All right, locally, well, back in America, President Trump on social media today said he's thinking about dropping the tariffs against China from 145% down to 80%. CNN's Elena Treen moments ago outside the White House.
Absolutely a huge jump. I'm also curious if this is something that the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and the United States Trade Representative Jamieson Greer, who are in Geneva currently meeting with their Chinese counterparts this weekend, are happy about, because, of course, going into negotiation, you don't always want to show your cards fully. And this is kind of the response I got when I caught up with Kevin Hassett, the White House's director of the National Economic Council. We asked him, what does this mean, this 80%? New tariff, perhaps, a drop to 80% from 145% on Beijing. Is that something that they are seriously, considering and wanting to walk away from these talks with China having? And he played it coy. He said, any negotiations are going to happen tomorrow. Any news on anything that could come out of these meetings, we will hear after the fact. And that's kind of how, from my conversations with senior administration officials, they've been trying so far to frame these talks with China. One, of course, they note its significance, given this is the first kind of face-to-face meetings they are having, and really the first significant, substantial negotiations on a way to try and de-escalate the trade war with China, all since this started. Before this, they really haven't been having any talks related to trade. So that's why this weekend and these meetings are so consequential. But through all of that, Trump administration officials are trying to downplay really what to expect from this. When I talk to different officials, they argue that they're under no illusion that they're going to walk away, come back from Geneva with some big trade deal in hand. Really, they're trying to frame this as a good first step and a way to de-escalate the situation, something we've heard Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent say publicly. Now, we also had another post from the president this morning kind of signaling what else he would like from China after these talks. He said, quote, China should open up its market to USA, would be so good for them. Closed markets don't work anymore. And so this is another area where you see the president is kind of putting his finger on the scale, seeing what he hopes they can get out of an ultimate trade agreement. One other thing that's also very notable is what the president said yesterday, which was when he was asked, do you expect to come down from 145% on a tariff on China? How much do you expect? Then he said, of course it's going to come down. Essentially, you can't go any higher. And so, again, I think that gives you a clear indication of where the president's mind is on this.
Elena Treen just moments ago at the White House. So big talks, big discussions this weekend. Treasury Secretary heading those up. President Trump already suggesting dropping the Chinese tariffs from 145% down to 80%. Year over year, by the way, in case you were wondering, like how the tariffs are already impacting Chinese exports. Chinese exports to the United States have already fallen 21% in anticipation of the tariffs that just went in. So big story we're going to cover throughout the weekend. When we get back after news, weather, and traffic, more on Pope Leo XIV. Papal expert Katie Prejean-McGrady joins us. 10:05 live in studio. Georgia Republican Congressman Buddy Carter is going to talk about his new Senate bid. And around 10:18, I'm giving you another keyword in the 5K day bonus splits. You can win $1,000 after 10 a.m. right here on the Mark Arum Show at 95.5 WSB.
Our weather can be crazy. Dry for days and drenched with storms. Extreme heat to bitter cold, and your roof takes all the abuse. Dave Baker for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. If your roof has problems, it may be showing you signs. Inside, look for wet spots on the ceiling or walls. Outside, check for streaks and stains or granules in the ground. If you find these, think of Findlay first. The perfect match for any roofing issues, and they offer 0% financing. Schedule your free roof analysis at FindlayRoofing.com. Roof.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Mother's Day is this Sunday, and you could be running out of time to find the perfect gift, except you're in Atlanta, and that means D. Geller & Son Jewelers has you covered. This is Jonathan Geller, and we've been making Mother's Day magic happen since 1939. This year, that means we just put out our best selection of clearance jewelry, like a pearl and diamond necklace that was $645 is now $345. Even a 1-carat pair of natural diamond studs is just $475. Come shop with us in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather, traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Jed Hickenbotham. News this half hour brought to you by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. We're watching a cleanup of a train derailment involving more than a dozen train cars in metro Atlanta. We'll have that story in a moment, but we start with a different kind of crash this morning. Traffic team been watching a red alert in DeKalb County near Spaghetti Junction, which has seen its fair share of delays this morning. Let's go straight to the WSB 24-hour traffic center. What can you tell us, Mike Shields?
Yeah, Judd, about 30 minutes into this widely scattered crash on I-85 northbound, just north of I-285. A lot of vehicles involved with this crash, debris across the roadway, and all lanes remain shut down 85 northbound north of I-285. That has also closed the on-ramps to 85 northbound from I-285. So if you're leaving Dunwoody, you're hitting the brake lights right around Shamley-Dunwoody Road on 285 eastbound. 285 northbound jammed up on the east side perimeter, leaving Highway 78, trying to get up to I-85. If you can, use Beaufort Highway or Peachtree Boulevard as alternates. We'll have more on this in minutes coming up on 95.5 WSB.
All right, thank you, Mike. It is currently 67 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says got plenty of rain coming for this Mother's Day weekend.
It'll bring widespread rain showers, and the rain will be consistent for Saturday, Sunday into Monday.
You do remain mostly dry today. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up to help you plan your Mother's Day weekend. Now to that train derailment. It happened overnight while most of us were sleeping. Now the investigation's underway, all near a Smyrna neighborhood.
CSX confirms 17 rail cars on one of its trains went off the tracks near Campbell Road and Nancy Circle, but no hazardous chemicals were released, and there's no threat to the surrounding community. The accident site is tucked behind some trees close to a few homes, but no roads are impacted. The derailment was reported shortly after 2 a.m., and CSX praises the quick response from Cobb County first responders. It's not clear how long the cleanup will take. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
From trains to planes, a new study finds airline satisfaction is actually up even after overall domestic passenger volume dropped in the first quarter of this year. A report from J.D. Power shows ticket prices are slightly cheaper than a year ago, which it says helped boost satisfaction levels. JetBlue ranks highest in the study. Atlanta-based Delta Airlines comes in second. Fewer than 10% of passengers say they experienced problems with the flight over the past year. Atlanta Police is hiring, and it's making it even easier for recruiters and recruits. APD has opened a recruiting center along Pryor Street where anyone interested can walk in during normal business hours Monday through Friday. Atlanta Police Foundation's Curtis Lean Bass also touts the Unity Place apartment complex, which houses recruits.
We want them to see that they don't have to worry about where they're going to live.
Another perk, tuition reimbursement for recruits. The department looking far and wide. Recruiters will actually be in Miami next weekend. And something to watch this weekend. A spacecraft that the Soviets launched more than 50 years ago is about to come crashing down to Earth. A technical problem prevented the Cosmos 482 craft from landing on Venus back in 1972. It's been in orbit ever since, slowly decaying.
There's concern that it could come crashing down in one big piece, since it was built to survive Venus's harsh atmosphere and environment. The lander will likely splash down in the ocean. This will be more like a meteorite hitting the Earth.
Matthew Glasser reports meteor strikes happen quite frequently and rarely cause any harm. NASA says the lander actually weighs about 1,100 pounds. It's 9:33 as we check your money. All major indices are well up to start this Friday. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather. Back to the WSB 24-hour traffic center and Mike Shields.
And Judd, a red alert continues in Spaghetti Junction. All lanes remain blocked with a crash. 85 northbound just north of 285. That has also closed the 285 ramps on the 85 northbound as they try to clear this widely scattered crash to the right shoulder. You can use Beaufort Highway or Peachtree Boulevard off of 285 as alternates. Travel advisory in Clayton County with a crash in two left lanes. 75 southbound right before Terra Boulevard exit 235. Delays leaving 285. Use I-675 or 1941 as alternates. And getting slow in Kennesaw with right lane roadwork set up on a Friday. 75 southbound Barrett Parkway exit 269. Already sluggish leaving Wade Green Road. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly cloudy for today, high 81, lows tonight in the low 60s. Tomorrow, rain showers through the morning and afternoon hours, high 65. The rain continues for Sunday, morning low 58, afternoon high 67.
68 degrees in Snellville, 67 in Palmetto, 68 in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Chris Chandler. Monday at 5 on Atlanta's Morning News, your exclusive 5-day forecast for the week ahead and what Clark Howard says watch for when you're booking a hotel on WSB.
The roar of the crowd outside the Sistine Chapel. Pope Leo XIV. We continue our coverage. Papal expert Katie Prejean-McGrady joins us live next on The Mark Arum Show.
Hi, it's Tim Andrews for My Roofer FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you'll be able to get it in the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
The reason many of us hate insurance companies is because some of them act like bullies. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. I've been dealing with these creatures my whole career. Whether it's a workers' comp claim, an auto accident, or a nursing home or medical mishap, the playbook is often the same: deny and delay. We became the largest injury firm in America for a reason. We fight the bullies. They know who we are, and I know it makes a difference for our clients. Just go to forthepeople.com and see our results and our verdicts after those bullies gave us us their final offer. Hiring the wrong firm can be disastrous. Hiring the right firm could substantially increase your settlement. It's easy to get going. Visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer, or call us on your cell at pound law, pound 529. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. forthepeople.com.
Morgan & Morgan Atlanta, 191 Peachtree Street, Atlanta, Georgia. Dial pound law. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Hey, it's Belinda for the board-certified plastic surgeons at Marietta Plastic Surgery. I've trusted their team for years. Doctors West, McNeil, Hanna, and Biswas have been serving the Atlanta area for over 25 years with expert surgical and non-surgical care. With warmer weather on the way, are you summer ready? Marietta Plastic Surgery is here to help you look and feel your best. They now offer Awake Liposuction, a less invasive way to sculpt your body with less downtime. And their med spa still has all your go-to treatments like Botox and fillers, microneedling, Diamond Glow, hydrofacials, and Morpheus 8 for radiant, glowing skin. Looking to restore thinning hair or reshape your hairline? Marietta Plastic Surgery is the only practice in the region that offers the gold standard in hair restoration, the Foundation Aesthetic Hair Restoration Method. Visit MariettaPlasticSurgery.com to schedule your consultation today.
To the ministry of Peter, you have called me to carry that cross and to be blessed with that mission.
Newly elected Pope Leo XIV celebrating his first Mass as Pontiff. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show, continuing our historic coverage of the selection of Pope Leo XIV. Joining us live, papal expert, author, radio host, all-around great lady, Katie Prejean-McGrady. Katie, thank you so much, first of all, for your amazing coverage leading off to yesterday's papal selection.
Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, it's been an honor to cover this moment. It's really cool.
As it was going down, I was like, oh, I wish I was sitting next to Katie right now to see her reaction. What was your reaction when now Pope Leo XIV emerged there from the balcony?
I was sitting in a flash studio in Washington, D.C. for CNN. I was actually live on the air when we got the white smoke, and my gasp, I think, kind of articulated my surprise and excitement that we got one so early. I did not know if we would see a pope yesterday. I thought it might be early this morning here in the States. But then as soon as they said his name, Roberto, there are a few Roberts that were in the conclave that were voting, and my heart and my head almost immediately went, it's Prevost. You know, he wasn't on the top of my list. I had to do research on a bunch of guys. He was actually number 4 on my Google Doc, and I only had 4 bullet points underneath his name and his photo. From Chicago, lived in Peru, working in Rome, Augustinian. And in the 24 hours, not even, since we've met him, what I have learned about this man, I love, and I am so very excited. So I was thrilled. I was shocked. As a practicing Catholic, I am just utterly... I'm almost bereft of words because I'm so pumped for this Pope.
When I saw the white smoke and it's pretty early in the voting process, I said, oh, it's one of the front runners, right? It's got to be the Pope from the Philippines or Africa or one of the Italian popes, because that was too few ballots for there to be not one of the front runners. That's what surprised me the most.
Yeah, and some people will say Prevost was on some short lists. He had, if any American had a shot, it was him. Because I don't think he's just American. He's lived in Peru. He's now obviously been in Rome for a couple of years. He's a very global American, and I think there's a reason that he was the one who was chosen. If you look at this guy's credentials, he's got his doctorate in canon law. He studied at Villanova at the Catholic Theological Union. He's been a pastor. He's been a missionary. He's been an archbishop, a seminary professor, a superior general of a religious order, and now the Pope. And I think his administrative experience, his pastoral experience, his scholarly experience, all of that put together has given us a very unique man in this moment.
Yeah, and by all accounts, brilliant, humble, funny, like just everything you could want. What can we read into, if anything, Katie, that he chose the name Leo XIV?
Oh, there's a lot there. He chose a pre-conciliar pope name. So he didn't choose somebody post-Vatican II, and I don't think that means that he's going back to the what some might say the dark ages of pre-Vatican II. I wouldn't say that, but some would classify it as that. He didn't choose John, he didn't choose Paul, he didn't choose Benedict, he didn't choose Francis. He chose Leo XIII, who happens to be my favorite pope. I don't know, Leo XIV might start to give him a run for his money. Leo XIII was the bridge pope. He bridged us between the 1800s and the 1900s. He, too, was elected at 69 years old. He wrote this incredible document everybody should go read. I'm sure the downloads on this document have increased in the past couple of hours. Rerum Novarum, which is this incredible social justice commentary in the late 1800s, early 1900s about work and the dignity of work and just wages and the way the church responds to capitalism run amok and communism. Leo XIII was a lion, a powerhouse, and he was pope for 25 years. And so to get Leo XIV, I think he's signaling to us, I'm my own man. I don't want you to compare me to the popes of the past 50 years. I want to think about the vast continuum of pontiffs since the late 1800s. And also, I'm gonna call out, just like Leo XIII did, I'm going to call out the heresies of the day. Pope Leo XIII called out Americanism. He called out nationalism. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see Leo XIV also speak very boldly at this moment.
Interesting. Yeah, Leo XIII was a pope at a very transitional time around the globe, right? We went from, so many folks coming into the United States, so many immigrants there, a lot of folks moving from rural areas into cities. Mm-hmm. He was a very pivotal pope at a very pivotal time in the world. Katie Prejean-McGrady joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Full disclosure, I went to a Jesuit college. Marist College in New York. But I kept hearing analysts talk about an Augustine cardinal, an Augustine background. What exactly does that mean?
So the Augustinians are one of the oldest orders, formed, of course, in the order of St. Augustine, the rule of St. Augustine. St. Augustine, the great scholar, the great convert, the one who said, give me chastity, but not yet, the party animal who became this great doctor of the church. The Augustinians are known for being learned men, for being missionary men, for going into places and teaching and serving that maybe other orders have not gone. They're also quite small, say, in comparison to the Jesuits. They don't have as big of a footprint around the world, but no less critically important in the service of the church. And I think having, this is notable, a second religious in a row. A lot of people thought, okay, Prevost might be on some short lists, but he's another religious, and we maybe are going to go back to a diocesan. But the thing is, he was a religious who served as a bishop in a diocese and a prefect of the Curia, so he kind of had too many good things on his short list that would have made him so appealing that's how we got him. And the Augustinians, I look forward to people going and reading the writings of St. Augustine now that we have an Augustinian pope, because they're going to be pleasantly surprised by the fire that St. Augustine brings.
And Leo XIV, an incredible resume, speaks, I believe, 5 languages. Did not speak English yesterday, though, as he first came out and addressed the folks outside of the Vatican, but did today in his Mass. Was it intentional that he didn't speak English yesterday?
I'm going to choose that maybe it was intentional for, time purposes. And just that, you speak Italian because that's the operating language of the Vatican. And then he spoke Spanish to the people of Peru because that's where he most recently was assigned. Maybe if he had been in the States most recently as a bishop, we would have heard English. Nobody I know was bothered by the fact that he didn't speak English yesterday. I was thrilled to hear it this morning. I was sitting in the makeup room before I went on a show, and we heard the Pope speak in English, and everybody gasped. There were 6 of us in there. We all gasped. Because it was such a delight to hear. I love Pope Francis, but he did not speak English. And that I think for some American Catholics, it wasn't that we felt distant from the Holy Father. Obviously, the Holy Father is in Rome. He's the Pope of the world, not just Americans. Let's not center ourselves in the narrative. But there's something about the fact that this Pope can speak English, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, French, and he has a reading knowledge of Latin and German. He can pretty much go anywhere in the world and speak to people who will understand him, which means we have to listen, and I think that's incredible.
Pretty remarkable. All right, so what happens now, Katie? Where's the Pope going to live?
That's a great question. We don't know. I would not be surprised if he moves back into the apostolic apartments. They're called the Apostolic Palace, but that's just because the word palazzo, that's how it translates. It's not a palace. It's nothing fancy. I wouldn't be surprised. He seems to be maybe a bit more introverted. He lived in an apartment owned by the Vatican, very close to the Vatican City, but he lived not in the community of the Augustinians. He lived in his own apartment. So I do think we might see him move back there, and that's okay. That's actually the proper place for the Pope to live, because it gives him some of the solitude and the privacy that a Pope needs, and it would be perfectly in line with his personality. The big thing we need to watch for, and this is what I'm very closely paying attention to, in the next couple of days, we're going to find out what Leo's going to do first. In the same way we look at a president, okay, what's his first 100 days going to look like? What are some of the first things that Leo decides to do? He had Mass, of course, this morning with the Cardinals, as is traditional. The media office told us he's going to meet the media on Monday. Now, meeting the media on Monday, is that a photo op, or is he going to do a press scrum? Is he going to take questions? He knows all the languages. He can talk to everybody. That would be really cool. We're also going to get, where is he going to travel first in probably the next couple of months. And so that first location he decides to go, Francis famously went to Lampedusa to go and to pray at the water where so many migrants have died in their passage into Italy. Where he decides to go first will signal to us this is what's on his mind as a very prescient thing. For the record, I don't think he comes to the States first. I don't think he comes to America first. I would love to see him come for the 250th birthday of America next summer, though. I think that should be the invitation extended from the White House.
If he does come, by the way, clarification, he's a Chicago White Sox fan. Heard that from his brother.
South Side. Leo from the South Side.
Exactly.
It's kind of crazy to say that.
Not a Cubs fan.
He has a Wawa order. He went to college in Philly. This guy knows what he's going to get from the gas station.
Just remarkable. I mean, I was watching yesterday. I was astonished. And the final question for you, Katie. I saw this through my television screen. Maybe I was misinterpreting it. He seemed very emotional, as one might be if you were just elected Pope.
Yeah, there's this moment they zoomed in kind of on his face. I almost felt like I was not allowed to see this because it was such a personal thing. But he sniffed his nose and clenched his jaw. And my immediate thought was, he looks like my dad. My dad's 67. He looks like my dad. This is a 69-year-old American guy who's had this incredible career and is giving essentially his life to the church. He'll never get to go his own places again. He'll always be surrounded by guards, and he'll always be in this white cassock. And it's a sacrifice, and I'm so grateful he's making that for us.
Yeah, I have high hopes for his papacy. Katie Prejean-McGrady, again, thank you from all of us here in Atlanta for the fantastic coverage you've provided. Very excited for you to get to talk about this at length for the next, hopefully, 25 years.
Yeah, let's hope so. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Katie Prejean-McGrady, papal expert. She has been fantastic here on the Mark Arum Show, giving us coverage. Pope Leo XIV, the first American pope ever. All right, still to come on the show after 10:05. Georgia Congressman Buddy Carter is going to join us live in studio around 10:18. I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K day bonus splits. Chance for you to win $1,000 here on WSB. But first, we got a gridlock alert up in Spaghetti Junction, live with the latest. Mike Shields.
It continues 85 northbound just north of 285, but some improvement within the last 15 minutes. Two center lanes are back open on I-85, but really having the biggest impact on 285 in both directions, ramping on to I-85 northbound. I would still use Beeford Highway or Peachtree Boulevard off of 285 as alternates, and some improvement on the south side with the earlier travel advisory down to one left lane block with the crash 75 southbound at Terra Boulevard. The support is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code RADIO and get an extra 5% off. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
Are you telling me I'm a winner? The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
Oh my God, you just made my day.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 10.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
on 95.5 WSB.
I hate getting stuck in Atlanta traffic almost as much as I hate overdraft fees. Hey, it's Smilin' Mark McKay. Your checking account should help you with day-to-day expenses and not charge you fees. A Chime checking account allows you to manage your money better. I've overdrafted my account. I was in a jam and I was embarrassed. With Chime, you have peace of mind. Chime covers members up to $200 with zero fees. Visit Chime.com and get started with a qualifying direct deposit. Had an overdraft? Don't worry or be ashamed. Chime has spotted members over $32 billion. Move toward a better financial future with Chime. Open a Chime checking account in 2 minutes. Get started today at Chime.com. Chime feels like progress.
Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank, N.A. or Stride Bank, N.A. Members FDIC. MyPay line of credit provided by the Bancorp, N.A. or Stride Bank, N.A. SpotMe eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. MyPay eligibility requirements apply. Not available in all states. Credit limits range from $20 to $500. $2 fee applies to get funds instantly. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal or OTC advance fees may apply. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs. Bank ranking and number of ATMs according to U.S. News and World Report 2023.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Monica Pearson. Dale and I have worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in AMCO just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we've both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to AMCO.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, efficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call the locally owned AMCO near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA
MCO.
Hey, it's Belinda. You know, when I built my home 21 years ago, I made one of the best decisions ever. I called Arrow Exterminators, and because of them, I still don't have bugs. Right now, termites are swarming, mosquitoes are buzzing, and ants are biting. Yep, it's spring, and so there are pests. Don't let pests ruin your spring. Protect your home and yard with Arrow's proven pest control solutions. Arrow Exterminators uses the most effective and environmentally friendly solutions available. Plus, they offer a 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. It's that dedication to quality and care that's kept them family-owned for over 61 years. Get started today with a free home or business pest inspection. Just call 888-GO-ARROW or visit them online at arrowexterminators.com and tell them Belinda sent you. Trust me, you'll be glad you did.
Jason Hansen, former CIA officer here, with an urgent warning. The 2025 tariffs are a matter of national security, and retaliation can become an extreme national threat. Every American with a 401k, IRA, or retirement account should act now before it's too late. I urge everyone to protect and secure their hard-earned money with physical gold and silver before we see massive retaliations from China and an extreme market of volatility. I only trust Advantage Gold with my money. They're the #1 precious metals company in America, and they can help you secure your retirement with physical gold and silver. To get started, just call 800-324-9902 and request their free gold investment guide and learn how you can own physical gold and silver, tax-free and penalty-free. But don't wait. This threat is real. Call 800-324-9902. Now again, that's 800-324-9902. Call right now and get your free gold investment guide today, or visit AdvantageGold.com. Past performance may vary. Always consult with a tax and financial professional.
Hey, it's Shaquille O'Neal. You're listening to the lyric dropping, traffic mopping, Hall of Fame gloating, drive time promoting. This is the Mark Arum Show. Deb Green hit my music.
I will never get tired of a Shaq rejoin. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Why are we coming back to Shaq? Apparently, Shaq is going to be taking on a new profession. Dude's a renaissance man, right? Krispy Kreme donuts, Papa John's pizza, NBA TV. I didn't see this coming. What is Shaq? Shaq's not going to be the new Pope, by the way. But he is going to take on a new profession. What is it, Deborah?
Yeah, adding on to the General and Icy Hot and all the other stuff he does, he's going to soon be Professor Shaquille O'Neal. He revealed that he's going to give up his TV gig in about 2 years and be a full-time professor at Alabama State, professoring in mentorship and business administration.
How cool, like, what's the enrollment jump going to be at Alabama State with the possibility that Shaq could be your professor?
That would be a fun class.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I would actually have gone to that class instead of skipping school like I did. So congrats to Shaq. All right, so 2 years. So maybe we can time it that Longoria's daughters will be going to college around that time, and they can be taught by Professor Shaq. A quick update on Pope Leo the 14th. One thing, I got a lot of friends in high school that went to Villanova. They're insufferable now. I mean, just how can you win an argument against someone that went to Villanova when the Pope went to Villanova? You know, I grew up in Big East country, UConn, Georgetown, Syracuse. It's game over now. Villanova has the Pope. They have the Pope. Very frustrating. I got to nod to him. And they showed his high school, I think it was high school or college yearbook photo. Like that's how crazy this whole scene is. Like the Pope has an American yearbook photo. And he went on to be Pope. And we're hearing from his friends and other priests that came up the ranks with him. I don't know. By all accounts, Deborah, it seems like everyone's given Pope Leo the 14th 2 thumbs up so far.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what he does and how he changes it and what stays the same.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get into the theological discussion, but just the resume that he had, you know, spending so much time in Peru, obviously born in the United States, and the linguistic abilities. Like, you want to broaden the church and widen the church's appeal? The dude can speak 42 languages. He's like Google Translate. Like, he can go anywhere and be able to proselytize, right? And be able to welcome more folks into the Catholic Church. 1.4 billion. I was very moved. I'm not Catholic, but I was very moved watching and listening to the coverage yesterday. Again, Pope Leo the 14th. All right, Austin's got your news, weather, and traffic. We got some big stories to get to, but when we come back, very excited, live in studio, Georgia Republican Congressman Buddy Carter's going to join us in studio. An exclusive interview here, his first since announcing that he is going to run for Senate. U.S. Senate seat here in the House of Georgia. So Congressman Carter is going to join us live. And then right after that interview, chance for you to win $1,000. I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K a day bonus blitz. That's coming up around 10:18. And if you want to watch the interview with Congressman Carter, just go to WSBradio.com. You can watch the live video stream there. That is coming up next on The Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Keep the heat out of your house this summer and save money on utilities with new windows from Window Nation. Right now, Window Nation is offering 60% off and a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. Plus, no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments until 2027. Hurry, sale ends soon. 60% off, plus no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments until 2027. Plus, Window Nation's windows come with a lifetime warranty. WindowNation.com or call 866-90-NATION.
Just to give you a little insight on how my crazy mind works, I was reading an article that said there could be up to 100 yet to be discovered tribes in the Amazon jungle. 100 of them. Hey, it's Mark Arum back from my friends at Xfinity. So I was reading that. I was like, oh my gosh, that reminds me of that movie, Apocalypto. I haven't seen that movie in a while. I want to watch that movie. So what did I do? I picked up my remote, my Xfinity voice remote, and I just pressed the button and said, Apocalypto. Bam! Xfinity offered me all the ways I could watch that movie. I'll tell you what, my mind wanders, but it's always there and caught by my Xfinity voice remote. No matter what I want to watch, the Xfinity voice remote helps me get there without hunting and pecking. Could be Apocalypto, could be a sitcom from the 80s. Xfinity is always there when I need them, and they'll be there for you as well. Jump on board the Xfinity family. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or even better yet, go see the friendly faces at your Xfinity store near you today.
At Mayo Clinic in Florida, we are conquering the unconquerable. Our experts are leading the way with innovative regenerative medicines and biotherapeutics that can repair diseased, injured, or defective tissues and organs to help treat people with chronic medical conditions. We're making more possible at Mayo Clinic because every day we're doing what's never been done. Learn more at mayoclinic.org/possible. Mayo Clinic, you know where to go.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 10 o'clock, I'm Austin Eller. This news brought to you by TE Certified Electrical, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Our top story is new this morning. Retired Supreme Court Justice David Souter has died. He was 85 years old. Souter was appointed to the court by President George H.W. Bush in 1990 and retired in 2009. He continued to sit on the Court of Appeals for the First Circuit for more than a decade after his retirement. That seat was eventually replaced by President Obama's nomination of Justice Sotomayor. It is 70 degrees right now in Midtown Atlanta. A bit cloudy today ahead of our rainy weekend. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. A partial train derailment's under investigation near a Smyrna neighborhood this morning.
CSX confirms 17 rail cars on one of its trains went off the tracks near Campbell Road and Nancy Circle, but no hazardous chemicals were released, and there's no threat to the surrounding community. The accident site is tucked behind some trees close to a few homes, but no roads are impacted. The derailment was reported shortly after 2 a.m., and CSX praises the quick response from Cobb County first responders. It's not clear how long the cleanup will take. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
One metro school district rolls out new rules for cell phones as Governor Kemp signs new legislation today barring phones from the state's K-8 classrooms.
Beginning in the fall, Marietta High School students will have new restrictions on their phone usage, says Superintendent Dr. Grant Rivera.
At this point, the board would like to give students flexibility to have access to their phones during class changes and during the cafeteria. However, there is a zero tolerance policy if students are to pull phones out during instructional time.
Rivera says if a student is caught with their phone during class time, it will be taken and a parent or guardian will have to come and pick it up. Rivera says this will be a pilot program for the fall. In Cobb County, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
One of MARTA's busiest downtown Atlanta stations will soon have a new name. MARTA board member Thomas Worthy says the change is needed ahead of the 2026 World Cup because of recent changes near the Georgia World Congress Center.
It has been proposed that the name of the Georgia World Congress Center CNN rail station be changed to the Sports, Entertainment, and Convention District Rail Station, also known as the SEC District Station.
Signage and rail maps are expected to be changed by the end of this year. The board says it wanted a name that doesn't specifically address any businesses. It's a new look at a brand new emergency center for excited South Fulton County residents.
No hospital south of I-20 means a long drive to the emergency room for South Fulton County residents.
About 20 minutes at the quickest, and that's without traffic, up to an hour with traffic.
But a fully equipped emergency center is going up in Union City, meaning a much quicker trip to the ER. One resident says that's a relief.
The distance that you would have to drive to get this type of service, and now it's within our neighborhood, is phenomenal.
The ER expected to open in fall of 2026. In Union City, Steve Summers, 95.5 WSB.
Well, Chicago-born Pope Leo XIV is in his first full day as the pontiff, holding his first mass this morning as the new leader of the world's 1.4 billion Catholics. His older brother, John Prevost, says he believes the Pope will share the values of his predecessor.
He's going to follow in Pope Francis's footsteps because he knows there are the downtrodden. He knows there are the poor. He knows there are the disenfranchised, the people who don't have a voice.
He says he always knew his younger brother would go on to do something great. It is 10:03. The Mark Arum Show continues in less than 2 minutes. But first, we've got live team coverage of traffic and weather. Chinwe Maponya-Cook is live in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hello, Austin. Right now, we got this gridlock alert in DeKalb County. Crash only leaving 2 center lanes open. This is I-85 northbound, just north of I-285. Sometimes Hero units are blocking all lanes to walk across and get debris, but 2 center lanes are consistently staying open at this time. Now, over on Washington Road, that crash had cleared I-285 northbound at exit 1, but now they're in the right lane, so you want to be careful about that. And a little bit of better news if you're in Clayton County, that crash I-75 southbound at Terra Boulevard has been cleared. They are on the right shoulder, and sometimes the tow truck person is getting in and out of that right lane, so please observe the move over law just to be safe in that area. I'm Chinwe Maponya-Cook, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly cloudy today, high 81, lows tonight in the low 60s. Widespread rain showers for tomorrow morning into tomorrow afternoon, high 65. Rain showers continue for Sunday, high 67.
Right now it's 70 degrees in Sandy Springs, 71 in College Park, and 70 in Midtown. More news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show on a good Friday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. A lot of big stories we're covering. President Trump announcing on social media, dropping the Chinese tariffs from 145% down to 80%. There will be a delegation negotiating with the Chinese officials this weekend. Obviously, the market's in favor of this. All green across the board. The Dow, S&P, and the NASDAQ all up significantly. We'll monitor those trade talks and what the markets are doing throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB. Coming up in a little over 10 minutes, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz. Another chance for you to $1,000 right here on 95.5 WSB. But joining us live in studio, Representative Buddy Carter. Representative, good morning. Congratulations. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
If folks have been wrapped up in the papal news, didn't hear that you are throwing your hat into the Georgia Senate race. First question, when did you decide to make this move?
Well, we've been looking at it for a while, and obviously with the governor deciding not to enter into the race, that opened it up. We need a true conservative. We need a MAGA warrior. We need someone who's going to support President Trump's America First policies, and I'm that person. I've done that for 10 and a half years in the House of Representatives, and I'm going to continue to do that in the Senate. What we don't need is Jon Ossoff. We don't need a trans warrior who's going to support biological men and girls' sports and be for they and them. I'm for Georgians. Jon Ossoff is not. He's more aligned with AOC and with Bernie Sanders than he is with Georgians. I mean, who would vote, and representing the state of Georgia, who would vote to have biological men competing against girls?
So if, just reading between the lines, if Governor Kemp decided to run, you would not have joined the race?
I think it's quite clear that Governor Kemp was our best choice. However, I'm the next man up, and I'm the best choice now. We've got to have someone who's going to push President Trump's America First policies. Georgians voted overwhelmingly for President Trump in November, and now he needs someone. He deserves someone from the state of Georgia, and Georgians deserve someone who's going to be in the Senate, who's going to support him and support his America First policies.
Interesting. Representative Buddy Carter joining us live in studio on the Mark Arum Show. Listen, there have been a number of names floated. We've got a couple of big races here, right? We have a race for governor, who is going to replace Governor Kemp at the mansion on West Paces Ferry. We've got the Senate race here and a number of proposed candidates for both of those slots on the Republican side. What are you expecting for this primary, and do you think that are there certain names that you expect to join the race and you might have to do battle with in the primary?
Well, certainly that's personal decisions for everyone, but I have to worry about my candidacy and about my campaign, and I'm convinced that I'm the true conservative here, that I'm the one who can deliver and can support President Trump and his America First policies in the Senate, just as I've done in the House. I've proven myself, and I've been with him since he first started, and I believe in his policies. I believe that we should secure that border. I believe that we should not have biological men in girls' sports. I believe that we need energy dominance, that we need a strong economy. All of those things are what I've been working for 10 and a half years in the House of Representatives and what I'll continue to work for in the Senate.
You have a close relationship with the president. He can be a kingmaker if he wants to be. Are we expecting an endorsement from President Trump?
Well, we certainly are going to do our best to earn it, and we feel like we've, as I've just mentioned, I've supported him in the past, and we'll continue to support him in the future. Look, it's going to be very important for us Republicans to coalesce around one candidate. The governor alluded to this earlier this week after he made his announcement. He said, he hoped he can get with the president and everyone in the Republican Party can coalesce around one candidate. Jon Ossoff's got a big war chest. He raised $11 million the first quarter. That's a lot of money. We don't need a bloody primary where we end up beating each other up, and at the end of the day, we're broke, and whoever wins is broke, and he's got $150 million in the bank. That's a big hole to dig out of.
I do need to make a public service announcement for all the WSB radio listeners. You can expect a lot of political ads for this Senate seat. There's a ton of money. There's going to be a ton of money spent in this race, both in the primary and the general, and the airwaves are going to be flooded with ads. So that's going to be a big part of this, right? Fundraising for you.
Oh, it is. It is absolutely. And we're the first one on the air. We went on the air this morning. We've got a $2.5 million buy throughout the state, making sure that everyone understands we're serious about this. This is important. It's important to our country. It's important to our state. Georgians who overwhelmingly elected Donald Trump deserve someone who's in the Senate who's going to support him, and that's what we're going to differentiate ourselves from Jon Ossoff. Georgians in 2026 will have a clear choice.
Republican Congressman Buddy Carter joining us live on the Mark Arum Show, announced his run for the Senate seat here in Georgia. If this is an inappropriate question, tell me, but did you talk to President Trump before you made the announcement? Did you give him a heads up that you were going to do it?
I did, indeed, and we have a good relationship and talk quite often, so we're hoping that we're going to earn that endorsement very soon.
Logistically, because you are a sitting House member,
yes.
right? Very important.
Yes.
Position. You're running for Senate now. Do you have to resign your seat to run for Senate? What's the timeline on making the transition from sitting congressman to senatorial candidate?
No, I will continue to fill out my term. I have a year and a half left in this term, and it is an honor and a privilege to represent the 1st Congressional District of Georgia, my home, where I've lived all my life and where I intend to live the rest of my life.
Confident that if you are the nominee for Senate, that's a safe Republican seat?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Right. We got a great list of candidates who are interested in that seat.
So you're from beautiful St. Simons, right?
Well, I'm from Savannah.
Savannah.
I was born and raised in the Savannah area and moved to St. Simons about a year and a half ago.
My wife's there for a teachers conference right now.
That's awesome.
So I might ask you for a restaurant recommendation before we get off the air.
They're great restaurants.
But listen, there's a huge voter block here in the Metro Atlanta area. For folks that aren't familiar with Buddy Carter, the person, sell yourself to Atlanta area voters.
Well, first of all, my grandfather was a sharecropper. He didn't own the land, he worked the land. I remember my father taking me down a dirt road after a family reunion. We used to live here, we used to live here, we used to live here. They lived wherever the land was they worked. My father worked shift work in a paper mill. I was the first one in my extended family to go to college and to graduate. I swore up and down when I left home I'd never go back. The first thing I did was go back home. And in that 5 years I was away to get a pharmacy degree, my dad went from being the dumbest man I'd ever met to the smartest man I'd ever met. But I went back, opened my own business. I had a very successful business. I owned 3 pharmacies. I had another business, service nursing homes, personal care homes. That's where I had most of my business success. Family, 3 sons, 3 daughter-in-laws, 8 beautiful, beautiful grandchildren. I served as the mayor of the city of Pooler, and Pooler is one of the fastest-growing cities in the state. And at that time,
a number of listeners have gotten speeding tickets there.
Yeah,
we're all very familiar with Pooler.
We call it revenue enhancement.
Exactly. All right, I'm sorry to interrupt. Pooler.
No. Mayor of Pooler. Then I served 5 years in the Georgia House, 5 years in the Georgia Senate. And then I ran for Congress, and I've been in Congress for the last 10 and a half years. A self-made man. I mean, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I had to work for everything that I've earned, and just been very blessed by God, and very, very blessed to have this opportunity for Him to open this door for me.
My friends, coworkers, listeners know I call everyone Buddy.
Yeah,
that's my default.
I know.
The origin of Buddy. How did you get the name?
If you had a name like Earl Leroy, somebody walked up to me one day and said, "Hey, Buddy." I said, "That sounds better than anything I've ever heard."
So very organic. You just started going by Buddy.
My parents named me Buddy.
All right, that's fantastic. Yeah. All right, so I love the fact that you have experience in the elder care realm, right? Very important. Yes. The boomer generation. My parents are getting to that age. It's very important. Let's talk about healthcare for the older generation. Do you support any cuts to the Medicaid process? What's going on right now?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I serve as chair of the Health Subcommittee on Energy and Commerce. Be careful what you ask for. For 10 years that I've been up there, I've aspired to hold that position. I finally get it, and they come up to me and say, "Oh, by the way, we're doing reconciliation. Most of the savings we're looking for are coming from your subcommittee." We are not cutting anything in Medicaid.
Okay.
We are not cutting anything in Medicaid. We are trying to save, to stabilize, to sustain that program. A program that I've worked with during my professional career as a pharmacist and as a nursing home consultant. A program that was meant for the most vulnerable in our society, for the aged, the blind, the disabled, for mothers, for children, those who truly need it. Now, it is expanded into something that was never intended to be, and Georgia, thank goodness, did not do the expansion population. But there are savings that we can achieve in Medicaid without putting people out of insurance, and we're going to do that. We are going to meet our number. Next week, the Energy and Commerce Committee will vote on Tuesday. We'll have that bill that we were charged with $880 billion of savings over the next 10 years. That's twice as much as anybody else had, and almost half of everything. And it was it's something that we worked diligently on for the last weekend, or we've been working on it for months, to be quite honest with you. Knew this was coming. So I'm very confident that we're going to be able to stabilize this program, sustain this program, and save it.
Congressman Buddy Carter, live in studio here on the Mark Arum Show. President Trump elected, I believe, because of his position on the economy, right? That was the number one issue, that and the border, that got him back to the White House. Talking about the economy, I'm Metro Atlanta, but I'm widely aware the impact that the Georgia coast has on the economy here in Georgia. With the tariffs ongoing with China right now, we'll see what happens with the European Union. Obviously, a trade deal announced yesterday with the United Kingdom. What's the mood, the feel, and the forecast for our very important Georgia ports? Can you give us any insight there?
Sure. Well, first of all, the trade deal that was announced yesterday is the first of many to come, and we're excited about that. I agree with the president on the tariffs. This is something that's gone on for way too long. We all want trade. Obviously, we want it in the state of Georgia and the coast of Georgia. We have two major seaports, the Port of Savannah, the number 3 container port in the country, the fastest growing container port in the country, the Port of Brunswick, the number 1 roll-on, roll-off port in the country. Trade is very important to us. In the state of Georgia. Georgia ports are the economic engine, not only of the state, but of the Southeast United States. And it's very important we have that. So, yeah, we're concerned about the tariffs, and the president was quite clear on this. He said, look, we're going to have some short-term pain, and we did. But in the long term, this is what's going to be better. And we're recognizing that now with these trade deals. Look, anytime you let something, ignore something and let it fester like this, it's harder to address it. I applaud him for addressing this. This is something that's gone on way too long. We need fair and balanced trade, and that's what he's achieving here.
We're starting to see impact on the West Coast ports. Have we seen any impact yet on the Georgia ports?
Minor impacts.
Okay.
There's been some, and obviously a lot of uncertainty. And the one thing you don't want in business is uncertainty. And I can get that and understand that. But again, we've got someone at the helm. We've got President Trump who understands business, who understands the economy.
Interesting. Congressman Carter, congratulations. Good luck.
Thank
Folks want to find out more about your campaign, websites, social media. I can post them on if you want.
Yes, please.
All right. I'll share them for
BuddyCarterForCongress.com.
.com. There you go. Yeah. Buddy Carter. I'm glad you got the .com and not the .net. That would have been if you don't mind.
Please post it. I may have gotten it wrong.
Will you send me the? Yeah. All right. Excellent. But thank you so much for coming in. I have the difficult task of giving away $1,000 to one of the hard-earned taxpayers out there. Yes, friends, it's the 5K a day bonus blitz. Your 10 a.m. keyword is SCORE, SCORE, SCORE. Enter the keyword SCORE into the WSB Radio app or WSBRadio.com/cash. You have until 10:30 a.m. to enter the keyword, win $1,000. The keyword again is SCORE. Don't forget, if you get a phone call after 10:30 from a number you don't recognize, answer it. Could be us telling you won $1,000. Again, the 10 a.m. 5K day bonus blitz keyword is SCORE, SCORE, SCORE. All right, now I can say a proper goodbye after I gave away $1,000 there. Congressman, thanks so much. Open invitation anytime you want to come back on.
Thank you very much.
All right, and let's make sure, I know you have other appointments, let's make sure traffic leaving the station is okay. Live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center, Chinwe and Paponia Cook.
Not if you're heading to Gwinnett. We still got this crash knocking out multiple lanes, I-85 northbound, just north of I-285. You can avoid all of this by taking Buford Highway because only 2 center lanes remain open at this time. And over in South Fulton, still got this crash taking out a right lane. This is I-285 northbound, right around Washington Road. That's exit 1. You still got multiple lanes open, but you want to stay to the left in that area. This report is sponsored by your Atlanta Braves. May in the A is here, and your Braves have some incredible matchups and promotions May 5th through the 15th. Visit braves.com/May in the A for tickets and more details. Atlanta Braves baseball, we are Braves country. I'm Chinwe Maponia Cook, 95.5 WSB.
When news breaks,
white smoke signals coming from the Sistine Chapel at this hour.
we've got it covered.
Which means we do have a new pope.
Tune in often for the latest.
The giant bell ringing, and that is the formal announcement and confirmation that there is a new pope.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station. Squirrels in your attic are not leaving without a fight. Scott Slade here. You need the Breda Wildlife Guarantee. It covers every entry point, old and new. Other companies only guarantee the entry point they seal. So each time that squirrel chews a new hole, and they will, it'll cost you hundreds more. But under the Breda Wildlife Guarantee, you stay protected at no additional cost.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Attention seniors, do you want more personalized healthcare with more one-on-one time with your doctor? Then join us at the grand opening of CenterWell Swanee. CenterWell offers senior-focused primary care that's centered on you. Celebrate with us on Wednesday, May 14th, near the Walmart off Interstate 85 here in Swanee, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Enjoy food, music, and more at this free community event. Plus, tour the new doctor's office and meet the care team. For details, visit CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com. That's CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com.
Let me paint you a picture. You're standing in the kitchen of your new home, coffee in hand, sunlight pouring in, boxes mostly unpacked. Feels good, right? Now imagine your old home. Oh, it's still there, but instead of stressing about it, you know that Orchard is handling everything. Repairs, showings, upgrades, the works. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler, and this is not a fantasy. Orchard gives you cash up front so you can buy first, move first, breathe first. And while you're living your best unpacked life, they're busy selling your old home for top dollar. Here's the twist. When it sells for more, and most of the time it does, you get that bonus too. That's 2 paydays. Not a gimmick, not a hack, just smart. That's Orchard. Why wait for tomorrow's money when you can have it today and tomorrow? Start with a free home valuation at orchard.com or call 1-844-421-SELL.
Noonan homeowners, join us for the grand opening of your new home outlet, May 15th through 17th. Save 20% off store-wide. We understand the demands of family life. Your home deserves more than what the budget sometimes allows. Now is your chance to save on the kitchen, bath, and flooring updates your home needs. Visit your employee-owned home outlet at 54 Bullsboro Drive to save 20%. 3 days only, May 15th to 17th, or shop online at homeoutlet.com.
Home Outlet is your home store.
Rates are up, rates are down. Every day it's something different. If you're curious about what's going on and when the best time will be to buy or refinance your home, call the experts I trust at Myland. This is Scott Slade. There's a reason the guys and gals at Myland are able to close loans that other local banks just can't. The folks at Myland are local and somebody you can trust to make sure you get the best loan for your needs at the best rate. You don't have to take my word for it. Here are lines from some recent testimonials. Myland kept me up to date and informed with every step of the way. They make you feel like you're one of the most important clients they have. Myland specializes in home financing, and they've seen it all. So whether you want to access the equity in your home to pay for other debts, buy a new home, or anything else, Myland is the place to call. 770-817-2000. That's 770-817-2000. Or online, it's myland.com. Spelled it M-I-L-E-N-D. Ed Molestin, Georgia Mortgage License C1408769. Myland located at 8995 Westside Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. Myland is an equal housing lender.
When someone's AC is on the fritz, drains are clogged, or wall outlets are sparking, Castile Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical never asks, how soon do you need it fixed? You know why? Because no one in recorded history has ever said, oh, take your time, just whenever you can get to it. We just assume how fast can you get here will always be the answer. So Castile will be there same day, and we won't leave until you're 100% satisfied. See? Sometimes it's good to assume. It gets your AC fixed fast. Book today at CastileAir.com.
You still want a new deck on your house, but you think you may have missed a deck building window? Well, you're wrong. Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations, my deck experts. What makes them my experts? Well, for starters, when you have Ben Hill Renovations upgrading your outdoor living space, you're dealing with professionals. You have a company building to code, current and future. You have a company pulling permits when needed, with a dedicated project manager for every job, superior craftsmanship from over 60-plus years of experience, and all backed by their workmanship warranty. Whether you want a screened-in porch, an outdoor living area, a multi-story wraparound deck, or just a simple deck with a set of stairs, Ben Hill Renovations has you covered. Plus, they offer multiple financing options, up to 18 months, no interest with affordable monthly payments. Check out their new website at bhrenovations.com and set up an appointment, or visit their showroom and speak with a designer. You won't be disappointed. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
Sing us a song, you're the piano man.
Maybe the song I've heard most in my life, Billy Joel's Piano Man. He turned 76 years old today. Billy Joel, happy birthday. We had his ex-wife on last week. You go into any bar in upstate New York, Deborah, you'll hear this 4 times in a night.
Really?
It's the official anthem of upstate New York for whatever reason. But happy 76th birthday to Billy Joel. By the way, the congressman's website, buddycarter.com. Very simple, buddycarter.com. I told him I would mention it. Make sure you folks have the correct website. Thanks to Buddy Carter, Georgia congressman, coming in, announcing his run for the Senate. Anyone that is running in the Senate will have an open forum here on WSB Radio. We will allow everyone. We provide an open forum. We don't play favorites, but it was always great. And it's nice for him to come in from the Georgia coast to Midtown Atlanta, so I do appreciate that. This story, Deborah, I'm not even going to preface it. In Missouri, you can now pay for your groceries, et cetera, with what?
Yeah, if you've been stocking up on gold bars at Costco, like Clark Harwood says too, you might be able to use them to pay for things in Missouri. Lawmakers approved a bill that would make gold and silver legal tender in the state. Now, here's the deal. You can't walk into Publix or Waffle House and throw down a gold bar or anything like that, but the state would require government entities to accept electronic versions of gold and silver. So, yeah, you're not walking around with gold coins or anything.
Because I was just thinking, remember back in the day, you get stuck behind someone at the grocery store and they were writing a check?
Yeah.
How long it would take for that? How long would it take? I've got a gold bar. I need to pay $17 worth of groceries. All right, so I feel better about that story. Hey, 5K a day bonus blitz keyword. You've got a couple of minutes to get that keyword into the WSB Radio app or at WSBRadio.com. Just a couple of minutes to get a chance to win $1,000. The keyword, again, is SCORE. SCORE, SCORE. You got till 10:30 to enter that into the WSB Radio app or at WSBRadio.com. Good luck. When we come back, Political Analyst Bill Crane live here on The Mark Arum Show.
This is Scott Slade. Nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier, the better. Like me. My doctor saw one lab work number that led to a diagnosis early enough, so I still had options. Now, that's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation. Virtual imaging's LD CT whole body scan can be invaluable, giving you time and options for early treatment. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. For a limited time, Virtual Imaging is offering their LDCT body scan for only $995 per scan. That's a $2,495 value. Now, appointments must be scheduled in May. There are a limited number of scans available at this price, so a few minimum requirements may apply. Don't put this off. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Check out our great selection of sweet surprises for Mother's Day. You'll find colorful bouquets, decadent chocolates, and more. Happy Mother's Day from Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Market volatility isn't slowing down. If you're nearing retirement, now is not the time to wait and see. Every day of uncertainty can put your future at risk. It's time to diversify. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I want you to know you can create certainty, locking in guaranteed income for life. This means predictable, stable cash flow, even in turbulent times. You've worked too hard to leave your retirement to chance. Right now, there are options to receive up to 30% upfront or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't wait. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any examples provided are hypothetical. Annuities are issued with prospectus and sales brochures and should be reviewed carefully before funding as features and benefits vary. DBA in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
Scott Slade here from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you're going to be able to get it into the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 10:30. I'm Austin Eller. This news brought to you by Metro Atlanta Amco dealers. Our top local story: no injuries are reported in a morning train derailment in Cobb County. CSX confirming to WSB 17 rail cars on one of its trains went off the tracks near Campbell Road and Nancy Circle. That's in Smyrna. They say no hazardous materials were released in the incident, and there's no threat to surrounding residents. The company has not said how long that cleanup will take. Well, one day after the election of Pope Leo XIV, the first American pope and a Chicago native, Holy Name Cathedral in Chicago hosts a massive Thanksgiving to celebrate his appointment. Bishop Lawrence J. Sullivan, the Vicar General of the Archdiocese of Chicago, gave the homily.
We come here today to pray for our new shepherd. And we also come here today to see the election of our Holy Father, Pope Leo XIV, as an opportunity.
That follows the Pope holding his first Mass this morning at the Vatican. Retired Supreme Court Judge David Souter has died at the age of 85. He retired in June 2009 after serving for 19 years, starting in 1990.
Throughout his 2 decades on the Supreme Court, Justice Souter has shown what it means to be a fair-minded and independent judge.
That's President Obama previously speaking. Obama went on to fill Souter's seat on the nation's highest court by appointing Justice Sotomayor. It's a shift in tone from President Trump. The president now saying he would be open to bringing down tariffs on China to 80%. That's ahead of scheduled talks overseas.
It comes to those meetings between Chinese and U.S. officials in Switzerland this weekend. U.S. officials have said that this is more about de-escalating tensions. It's not about coming to some grand trade deal, but they do say that this de-escalation is necessary to move this process forward.
Selena Wang reports the U.S. currently has a 145% tariff on Chinese imports, while China retaliated with a 125% tariff on U.S. goods. It's a new push for recruitment at the Atlanta Police Department.
And as part of that, APD just opened a new recruitment center on Pryor Street. It's open to walk-ins Monday through Friday between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. And there are some pretty good perks like tuition reimbursement being offered, says the Atlanta Police Foundation's Christine Bass.
They can complete their degree if it's within some of the different disciplines, and that we will reimburse them up to $3,000 per scholastic year.
In addition to the recruitment center, the department will be heading out to different cities along the East Coast, including Miami next weekend, looking for new recruits. Michelle Wright, 95.5 WSB.
A new name's coming to one vital downtown Atlanta MARTA station. MARTA board member Thomas Worthy says the Georgia World Congress Center CNN Center station will be renamed the Sports, Entertainment, and Convention District Rail Station by the end of the year.
It is in the best interest of MARTA, MARTA's patrons, the greater Atlanta metropolitan area,
in the state of Georgia to change the name of the station to something that will identify the area clearly.
He says the redevelopment of the old CNN Center made the board realize that station needed a name not attached to any specific business. It is 10:33. We've got live team coverage of traffic and weather. Chinwe Maponya Cook is live now in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Got a little bit of better news for you, Gwinnett, or if you're trying to get to Gwinnett, I-85 northbound, just north of I-285. Got some more lanes that's reopened for you at this time. It's only 2 lanes that are shut down. Those center lanes are back open, I-85, just past I-285, but you can still take Buford Highway if you can to avoid all of that mess. Over in South Fulton, crash still taking out the right lane. This is I-285 northbound right at Washington Road. So not seeing too many delays, though, over near exit 1. And then we've got some construction in Cherokee County. Road work is taking out 2 left lanes, I-575 northbound, the exit ramp to Riverstone Parkway. That's exit 20. You can take exit 19 if you want to just avoid that altogether. I'm Chinwe Maponya Cook, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly cloudy for today, high 81, lows tonight in the low 60s. Tomorrow, rain showers through the morning and afternoon hours, high 65. The rain continues for Sunday, morning low 58, afternoon high 67.
Right now it's 71 degrees in Decatur, Vinings, and Midtown. More news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
I've listened to many arguments, and there are good arguments to say that we shouldn't. So I'm just saying.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
This is the only way to do it. Some people are going to lose their job, and then they're going to be put back in the job.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
It's about you. You're being celebrated.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Still to come, more on the first ever American Pope Leo XIV. But next, in-depth in politics, political analyst Bill Crane, live in 2 minutes on The Mark Arum Show.
Hope. It's more than a word. It's a breakthrough in the making. At City of Hope, we're pushing the boundaries of science, targeting cancer at the molecular level, with teams of experts working together to personalize a treatment plan right down to your DNA with unprecedented speed, making every second count, with appointments in as little as 24 hours. City of Hope, advancing cancer care at life-saving speed. Learn more at cityofhope.org.
Hot water heater just not cutting it anymore? You don't get that piping hot shower you want every morning? Hey, it's Mark Arum back from my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Check out this amazing deal. New water heater, only $29.99 a month, and make no payments for 3 whole months. Or you can go tankless, only $59.99 a month, and you can enjoy that lovely, endless hot water. Same day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. Get that new water heater now. Save a ton of money. Just go online to reliableair.com.
Looking for the perfect engagement ring? At Shane Company, we know this is an exciting time. It can also be overwhelming. Customers say this a lot. Where do I start? How do I choose? At Shane Company, this is where the magic happens. Since 1929, we've been experts at helping customers find the perfect engagement ring. We invite you into the design process, help you pick out the perfect diamond or colorful gemstone, and choose a style that speaks to you. Come see us in store and at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Preparing to sell your home can be costly and time-consuming. Skip the hassles of a traditional home sale and sell your home stress-free with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. Say goodbye to the stress that comes with showings, open houses, and costly home repairs. My friends at Mark Spain Real Estate will sell your home fast and for maximum value. With over 12,500 5-star reviews, trust the top real estate team in the U.S. to sell your home for top dollar. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
Founded by hardworking Georgians in 1992, Builders provides tailored insurance solutions to safeguard workers and business owners from costly accidents. Explore reliable workers' compensation and general liability products at BLDRS.com. Builders, insurance built strong.
I did it my way.
10:37 on this glorious Friday morning. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. A couple of big stories surrounding, obviously, the selection of Pope Leo IV, not Uncle Leo, Pope Leo XIV, rather. Diddy court news, I'll let Austin handle that. India, Pakistan, and a possible trade deal negotiated this weekend between the United States and China. But let's talk politics. Joining us as he does at this time every Friday morning, political analyst Bill Crane. Bill, good morning, my friend. How are you?
Good morning, Marcus. All good on this end?
Excellent.
Hope you are.
I'm fantastic. Although I did not get a donut this morning. I just went to the newsroom to check, and they're all gone. I brought them in, 2 dozen, and they're all gone. So you snooze, you lose, Bill, when it comes to free food in the newsroom.
You got to know better, brother, to put food in a newsroom without grabbing some first. You've been there a minute.
You're exactly right. Let's start with the Georgia Senate race. I don't know if you heard the interview, but last half hour we had Georgia Congressman Buddy Carter in studio. He threw his hat into the ring. Break down Buddy Carter's candidacy and any other candidates we might see.
Buddy Carter is a 6th-term member of the U.S. House and was previously chief of staff to his predecessor, Congressman Jack Kingston, who chaired the House Appropriations Committee and also ran previously for the United States Senate. He's well-liked and well-regarded, well-known. He is a very strong supporter of the president. He would appear to some in metro Atlanta and other parts of the states as being a bit country. He is not. He's a self-made businessman. He has personal wealth beyond his role in Congress. And again, in his geography, in that 1st congressional district, he is very well-known and regarded. The challenge for him will be it's a short time till November of 2026, and it's a large state. The last 2 members of Congress from that same district, Jack Kingston and before him Bo Ginn, who was a Democrat, polled well in the primaries, but were just not able to put together the statewide name ID that eventually pushed them across as the nominee. I don't wish Buddy Carter any ill at will, but there are 4 members of the Georgia congressional delegation looking at getting into that race. In addition to him, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, Congressman Rich McCormick, who's a physician, this is one of 2 practicing physicians in Congress who represents the 6th District, Mike Collins, who is the 10th Congressional District, whose father, Matt Collins, also served in Congress from Georgia representing the 3rd. That's just the members of Congress. 2 constitutional officers, Brad Raffensperger, our Secretary of State, John King, our Insurance Commissioner, and then 2, I won't call them dark horse candidates because they've run for this before, but Doug Collins, the head of the Veterans Administration in the Trump administration, and Kelly Loeffler, who is the administrator of the Small Business Administration, all are eyeballing that race.
Could be a very well-known and crowded field. Now, I asked the congressman if he alerted the president before he made the announcement. He said he did. I would imagine an endorsement from President Trump would be a game changer in this primary. Do you think that President Trump will endorse anyone? And if so, will it be Congressman Carter?
I've given up really trying to forecast what Donald Trump will do, but I will say that the Trump White House had said he will not do what was done in 2022. He was former president then, but engage in multiple endorsements in multiple states, including here in Georgia, where he was probably spread too thin and not successful. I mean, he endorsed David Perdue, who lost by almost 25 percentage points in the governor's race to Brian Kemp. He had a Secretary of State nominee, Vernon Jones, I'm messing my offices up. Everyone but Burt Jones, his lieutenant gubernatorial nominee, and Herschel Walker, who became the Senate nominee, ultimately didn't win that race, went down in flames in the primary. But because I believe he'll be very engaged in the governor's office as that field shapes up and as it becomes more apparent who's polling and tracking well, I do think he'll get involved. Doug Collins, who was his pick to succeed Johnny Isakson when he passed away and didn't get the nod from Governor Kemp, and Governor Kemp picking Kelly Loeffler to be the interim senator was the beginning of that rift between Brian Kemp and President Trump. And I'm hoping this time, for the good of the party as well as our state, it's not good to really be on the outs with the White House and an active president, that kind of bad blood doesn't emerge early, and perhaps that decision and those endorsements come later. I do think ultimately he'll be very involved in whoever the Senate nominee is on the GOP side to increase the GOP majority in the U.S. Senate, and John Ossoff is judged to be 2 of the most likely pickup seats by the Republicans, the other being an open seat now held by a Democrat in Michigan.
Political analyst Bill Crane joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. I can't overstate, I know you know this, the importance of Governor Kemp saying he wasn't going to run for the Senate seat. I asked Representative Carter if Governor Kemp was running, would he have run? He said no, because Governor Kemp would have been the best chance to win that. So, I mean, that was a big announcement and really opened up this wide open field for the Senate race.
Yeah, and in the comments he's had on WSB and elsewhere, the governor said 2 things that I think need to be underscored. One is he was elected to do a job as governor. He's doing well as governor. He's got about a 60% approval rating in his 2nd term, which is unusually strong. And the job isn't done yet. He was elected for 4 years. He was reelected in 2022, and that term won't expire until 2026. when you are running statewide, and I've been involved in multiple campaigns, it's very difficult to focus as much as you might want to or need to on the job you have when you're seeking the job you're wanting, or even if you're seeking re-election. Georgia has 159 counties, largest landmass state east of the Mississippi, a lot of ground to cover, and it takes a whole lot of time when you're in a general primary, general runoff, and then general election campaign for about 120 days of a year. And I think he's putting the people of Georgia first. Then he's also putting his family first. He has 3 daughters, one of whom, Jarrett, just got married. The other 2 aren't far behind. And the job that increasingly it's clear that he is interested in is not president of the United States, but is president of my alma mater, the University of Georgia. And he can be much more effective making moves towards that here than he could if he was in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, I hear a lot of folks saying that he could be headed to the Athens-Clarke County area. You mentioned Marjorie Taylor Greene. She had said she was going to run for Senate. I don't know if you heard the interview she had with Shelley Winter on WSB Radio, but his takeaway was that she might be gearing up now to run for governor instead of Senate. Do you think she might pivot and instead of running for Senate in a crowded field, maybe run for governor in a less crowded field?
It's possible, and if she were to do that, Chris Carr should send her a thank you note, and whichever she declares for, I will send a check of contribution because that gets her essentially, once she qualifies, out of Congress the following fall.
Interesting, but you don't know which way the wind's blowing on what decision she might make?
Sense for her to look at which race is more winnable, but a 7-person race where everyone, it seems, is going to try to run to the right of Donald Trump is going to be an interesting vivisected primary. And if she were to get in the governor's race, she's more likely to take away votes, both geographic base and the part of the MAGA part of the party, from Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones than she would be to take away votes from Chris Carr, who comes from Metro Atlanta and is more closely aligned with Governor Kemp. So she could get in, I think, a primary runoff in either of those races based on the amount of money she can raise, based on the fact that she'll be the only female candidate in either of those races on the Republican side. But ultimately, I don't think she's electable in the general election. And I think the National Republican Senatorial Committee, who tries to stay neutral in these things through the primary, but they don't always, is also trying to send signals that that's a critical pickup, that Senate seat, and they want the most electable Republican who can attract crossover votes and independents and libertarians in the general. And, without being disingenuous, that would not be Marjorie Taylor Greene.
On the other side of the aisle, any other Democrats announced that they're going to run for Senate?
Keisha Lance Bottoms, the 60th mayor of Atlanta, has filed paperwork financially, but she's not had a formal announcement yet. We expect that's in the offing and probably will happen by Memorial Day. But I know it seems a long time away when we're talking about November of 2026, but when you talk about the money that has to be raised, a statewide organization, and as we've discussed previously on this show, that statewide name ID you have to build, really we ought to know most of the candidates in the field by summertime.
Finally, Bill.
Through the ministry of Peter, you have called me to carry.
That's audio this morning from the first Mass of the first
mission.
American Pope, Leo XIV. Your reaction to that historic news heard on WSB Radio yesterday?
Well, I love that America finally, although I think we have had a couple of popes who've done work and lived in America. He's first native-born American, 267 popes before him to get to this point. I'm most impressed by the fact that he's only been a cardinal since 2024. He's only 69, Mark. I'm now within 5 years of the age of the Pope. That's kind of scary. He speaks 4 languages, and obviously you just heard him very fluent English, German, Spanish, and Italian. Every job he's had in the church, and most of his career was spent as a missionary in Peru. He's been quickly elevated to the next rung on the ladder. 2 jobs before, he was basically over all of the bishops in Latin America, and his last job, he was in the Vatican helping identify, select, and bring cardinals into the College of Cardinals, which may help us understand how he did so well in a reasonably short career at that level of the church. But he's considered to be a moderate, and as one of the 1.4 billion Catholics, although I consider myself a lapsed Catholic, I look forward to seeing what he's going to do, and I hope that the disagreements he's already had with J.D. Vance on immigration don't lead to a broader disconnect with the White House. But I think he is going to try to help the White House come up with an immigration policy with Congress that might be a little more compassionate.
Interesting. Bill, great stuff as always. Any big weekend plans, my friend?
I am heading to early celebrate Mother's Day with my firstborn and all of our children, including the new grandson who's 3 weeks old today.
That's right.
Tonight And then we've got, I do a floral delivery to both of my mothers of my children, the exes, and all that stuff. And all of our grandmothers are gone on my side, but my sisters, I do a flower run on Saturday, the day before the Mother's Day. So family weekend mostly.
You're a mensch, Bill Crane. You're a mensch.
Thank you, and shalom.
Thank you, buddy. Political analyst Bill Crane, CSI Crane. You can find him now on social media. Always good stuff there. All right, congrats to Barbara in Atlanta. She just won $1,000 in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Congrats, Barbara. If you're a mom, treat yourself this Mother's Day with $1,000, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show and WSB Radio. When we come back, hand-me-down cars. Do you have a hand-me-down car? Yeah, I did too. It might not be a good thing to give that car to your kid as a hand-me-down. Deborah will explain. After we check traffic, it's been a bear this Friday. Let's get the live latest. Chinwe Maponia Cook.
Better news in DeKalb. Only a right lane now is blocked. This is I-85 northbound, just north of I-285. So your delays are improving significantly, but you're still going to be backed up pretty much on that perimeter. So you can take Buford Highway if you're trying to work your way into Gwinnett. Over in South Fulton, right lane taking out I-285 northbound at Washington Road. That's exit 1. Hero unit still sitting in that right lane following a lingering crash. And over in Barrett Parkway, we got some construction up in Kennesaw taking out a right lane I-75 southbound right at exit 269, causing some minor delays. Nothing too crazy at this time. I'm Chinwe Maponia Cook, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB Radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
That is awesome.
The WSB 5K a Day Bonus Blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
This is Jill from Roswell, and I just won $1,000.
Just enter the word at WSBRadio.com or on the WSB Radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 12.
The WSB 5K a Day Bonus Blitz.
On 95.5 WSB.
Dave Baker here. If the temperature inside your house doesn't fit with the temperature outside your house, you need to call Coolray Heating and Cooling. In May, you can get your HVAC system tuned up for only $79, or you can get up to $2,250 in rebates with the purchase of a complete Carrier comfort system, plus get free attic insulation. For comfort that lasts all year, visit Coolray.com to schedule your appointment today. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head-scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
For many women in our community, support for our physical and mental health feels out of reach.
When your workday is long.
And your budget is tight.
And your village is busy.
And the road between home and help is a 6-lane highway with no crosswalk.
Northside Hospital believes women deserve better.
Northside is rolling up our sleeves and getting to work.
We got your house call.
Heard.
Learn more at northside.com/heard.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Monica Pearson. Dale and I have worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in AMCO just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we've both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to AMCO.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, efficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call the locally owned AMCO near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA
MCO.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Happy 63rd birthday, Dave Gahan, lead singer of Depeche Mode. Man, I was a big Depeche Mode fan in college. Still am.
Oh, yeah.
So good, so good. Happy 63rd birthday there. All right, I teased this before the break. Hand-me-down cars. My parents were amazing. My first 3 cars were hand-me-downs. I didn't have to buy a car till my 4th car when I was officially an adult. I thought it was really generous, but it might not be the best thing to do nowadays is to hand down cars to your kids, Deborah.
Yeah, apparently a hand-me-down car is not such a great idea, which I know a lot of people started. I did as well. But research shows that teens who drive older vehicles, anything older than a 2010, are actually 30% more likely to die in a crash. Now, they're attributing this to less safety technology that's in cars, right? Like, we never had backup cameras, but now everybody's used to them. Some of the components are a little more run down, and kids are less likely to take care of a car that's used than they are a new one, knowing it's already beat up, right?
Like Vinny, who doesn't get the oil changed on it. Or what was he? He was 10 miles over the oil change?
He was 30 miles over.
30 miles over. He's like, oh, my God. I remember my first hand-me-down car. Again, if my parents were listening, thank you. In hindsight, like, it was just assumed that I was getting a hand-me-down. That was, that was just amazing of them. So my first car looked like an old police state trooper cruiser. And it had balls, man. It was like a V8. It was a Chevy Caprice Classic. It was a great first car, like a tank, but it had the square headlights of a state trooper's car. So anytime in Connecticut, again, we didn't have much to do in the way of entertainment. So we would just usually go to a cul-de-sac that was under development, and everyone would bring beer and hang out there. And as soon as I'd pull in, everyone would scatter because they thought I was the police. They thought I was a statey coming to bust up the party. So I'd pull in. It actually got to be pretty funny just to see all my classmates scatter off into the woods because they thought I was a statey coming in to arrest them. But, yeah, I had the Chevy Caprice Classic, then a Chevy Tahoe. No, whatever the SUV was, the Chevy SUV. I forgot it was. Blazer. Chevy Blazer.
Trailblazer?
Yeah, Blazer. And then a Mazda 626. So they hooked me up. I'll never be able to repay you. Let me rephrase it. I'm never going to try to repay you. I could repay you. I'm not going to repay you. But that was amazing. I don't know. You can still hand me down the Dodge Durango Longoria. No one will. Your daughters would love that with the Swim Dad sticker on the back. All right, news, weather, and traffic. Going to update the markets. And, another Fox News personality heading to work for President Trump. Shannon Kingston from the White House joins us next on The Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Turn your backyard into your family's favorite hangout to have fun, entertain, and celebrate the summer in a Bullfrog hot tub from Brown's Pools and Spas. Only Bullfrog offers the Jetpack Therapy system, allowing you to customize each seat to fit every body in your family. Right now, shop the Memorial Day hot tub sale. Instant rebates up to $2,500 or a free audio upgrade on select models. Hurry, offer ends May 27th. You'll be so glad you went to Brown's Pools and Spas. BrownsPools.com.
News is temporary, but your financial plan shouldn't be. I'm Wes Moss, and at Capital Investment Advisors, we're focused on helping retirees invest for income. This means building and managing a portfolio that delivers a steady stream of income, regardless of the scary headlines of the day. If you're ready to shift your focus from the headlines to your core pursuits in retirement, reach out to our team at yourwealth.com. That's YOUR wealth.com.
Hey, it's Belinda for the board-certified plastic surgeons at Marietta Plastic Surgery. I've trusted their team for years. Doctors West, McNeil, Hanna, and Biswas have been serving the Atlanta area for over 25 years with expert surgical and non-surgical care. With warmer weather on the way, are you summer ready? Marietta Plastic Surgery is here to help you look and feel your best. They now offer Awake Liposuction, a less invasive way to sculpt your body with less downtime. And their med spa still has all your go-to treatments like Botox and fillers, microneedling, diamond glow, hydrofacials, and Morpheus 8 for radiant, glowing skin. Looking to restore thinning hair or reshape your hairline? Marietta Plastic Surgery is the only practice in the region that offers the gold standard in hair restoration, the Foundation Aesthetic Hair Restoration Method. Visit MariettaPlasticSurgery.com to schedule your consultation today.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11 o'clock. I'm Austin Eller. This news brought to you by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. Our top story, a retired Supreme Court justice has died.
CBS News special report. Former Supreme Court Justice David Souter has died. President George H.W. Bush nominated Souter in 1990.
The president's nomination and the Senate's confirmation are wholly beyond the scope of any thanks that I could give to them.
Legal analyst Lori Levinson.
Justice David Souter, who served almost 20 years on the Supreme Court, will best be remembered as somewhat of a liberal, even though he was appointed by the first President Bush. Justice Souter supported abortion rights. He was against prayers in schools and 10 Commandments in government buildings. And he, in fact, dissented in Bush v. Gore.
President Obama praised Souter when he retired in 2009.
He approached judging as he approaches life, with a feverish work ethic and a good sense of humor, with integrity, equanimity, and compassion.
CBS News special report. I'm Michael Wallace.
It's 73 degrees right now in Midtown Atlanta. Cloudy today ahead of that rainy weekend we have ahead of us. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. One U.S.-based aid group in Gaza says an Israeli blockade has left them with practically no food left to cook. The World Central Kitchen says it's forced to suspend all operations.
Israel is facing growing international pressure to lift a blockade on humanitarian aid that it imposed in March, hoping to pressure Hamas to release the remaining Israeli hostages, both alive and dead. Israel says Hamas has been stealing the aid.
Linda Gradstein reports the organization previously served more than 130,000 meals per day and baked 80,000 loaves of bread over the past few weeks. Governor Brian Kemp signs legislation today banning cell phones from the state's K-8 classrooms, but one metro district has its own plan for high schoolers.
Marietta High School students will have to keep their phones put away during class time beginning in the fall. The city's school board approving a plan to test the new policy that's already had success in the district's other schools. Superintendent Dr. Grant Rivera says there are consequences if you break the rules.
If it does and students don't respect the, if you will, the new expectations in Marietta,
then the phone will be immediately confiscated and only returned to a parent or legal guardian.
This will be a pilot program for the fall. In Cobb County, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
Another signing from the governor this morning, the next fiscal year's budget.
We don't follow the path of states like California, New York, Illinois, Maryland, and others. They're growing government and raising taxes to cover budget deficits.
Kemp says the nearly $38 billion spending plan keeps government in check and cuts taxes. South Fulton County residents get a first look at a new emergency room.
Metro Atlanta south of I-20 hasn't had a hospital in years, but a new emergency center going up in Union City will change that.
We'll be able to do everything in this emergency department that we'll be able to do in Maine Grady.
Grady officials giving 100 residents details about the new ER. One woman whose husband just got a pacemaker is relieved that doctors will be minutes away.
We don't have to go downtown, so it's going to be great that he can come here.
The new ER said to open in fall 2026. In Union City, Steve Summers, 95.5 WSB.
It's 11:03. The Mark Aram Show continues in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. Chinwe Maponya Cook is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
All right, much better news for you if you're trying to get to Gwinnett out of DeKalb. I-85 northbound just past 285. We've had this crash lingering for quite some time now, almost 2 hours actually, when now only a right lane is being blocked at the end of the I-285 ramp to I-85, but all lanes I-85 northbound past I-285 have reopened, and road work has cleared I-75 southbound at Barrett Parkway, as well as 575 northbound at Riverstone. That exit ramp, 2 left lanes were taken out, but no more cones. I'm Chinwe Maponya Cook, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Mostly cloudy today, high 81, lows tonight in the low 60s. Widespread rain showers for tomorrow morning into tomorrow afternoon, high 65. Rain showers continue for Sunday, high 67.
Right now it is 75 degrees in Stockbridge, 71 in Alpharetta, and 73 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. More news at 11:30, breaking news when it happens. I'm Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
I want this town to be near you.
11:05 on this gorgeous Friday morning. Welcome back, friends. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. Coming up in just a minute, we're going to go to the State Department. A new addition to the Trump administration. Shannon Kingston's going to join us 30 minutes from now. Deborah's got an amazing prize pack of tickets to give away. And in exactly 1 hour, I am going to give you another keyword in the 5K a day bonus blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000. I love giving away money like this. Absolutely love it. Last hour, Barbara in Atlanta won $1,000. That could be you. And what a perfect way to celebrate Mother's Day and have an extra $1,000 at your checking account. You have doing anything special for your mom, Longoria? She's or Leslie. I guess you're getting the free roses in the backyard.
Yeah, the free roses in the backyard for sure.
Yeah.
But we'll probably take her out to dinner or something like that. Yeah.
Deborah, are you going to celebrate with your mom?
Am I celebrating with my mom?
Yeah, Mother's Day.
Yeah, I guess I don't, she doesn't really like to do much. She's like, this is fun, this is fat. So I'll go out and find some flowers, maybe take her out to eat or something.
Well, I tell you what, it's not going to be in time for Mother's Day, but I did order 20 of Pope Leo trading cards online. So I'm going to give a bunch to you guys. I was wondering because the company Topps, they make all the baseball cards. They have these things called Topps Now. And you might have seen them in the past. Remember that Bernie Sanders meme when he was freezing, and they made a card of that. They made a card of President Bush throwing out the first pitch. They make these cards. So I was like, oh, they better do a Pope one. And boom, they did a Pope one. So I ordered 20 of them. But they won't be in time for Mother's Day. I'm sorry, Deborah, but
she would probably like that more than anything else.
Well, I'm gonna send you 10. I'm giving you 10 and Longoria 10.
Okay.
So it's kind of like mass cards, right? Didn't they used to do that? I used to get those when I would go to a Catholic church as a kid. They would hand
Saints.
out. Were they saints on the cards?
Yeah,
you can get little Saints cards.
Yeah, I used to collect them. I was like, oh, this is like a baseball card. Anyway, I do have an update on the Pope in just a second, but I got an email yesterday. Ironic day to get this email. Yesterday was the 3rd anniversary of me becoming a reverend.
Oh, really?
Because do you remember that? I got
someone's wedding, right?
Yeah, I got ordained because our good friends wanted me to officiate their wedding, which was a horrible mistake on their part.
Didn't you say a story that you shouldn't have said?
No, it was bad. I did not. It was a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure.
Talking about baseball or something.
Yeah, but I forgot I'm a reverend. Should I change all my social media accounts to Reverend Mark Arum?
Oh,
Reverend Arum?
Reverend Arum?
Ooh.
My rabbi might be a little
Arum.
upset
And
about
then if you
that,
get a
but-
doctorate, Reverend Dr.
Doctor,
Arum.
yeah.
Ooh.
What goes first? Dr. Reverend? Reverend Doctor.
Reverend Doctor.
I'm trying to look for my wallet now. I still have my Reverend card. Let's see.
Reverend card.
It's a
You
Universal.
have to prove it. You, like,
Universal
pull it out. I'm a
Life.
Reverend.
Universal Life Church Ministries credentials of ministry. This is to certify the bearer hereof on this day. The 5th of May in the year 2022. Mark Arum is ordained by the Universal Life Church Ministries. So Nyoki, when you get married, I'm your dude. I can. I'm official. I forgot I was a reverend. How do I forget I'm a reverend? Anyway, I don't want to steal Pope Leo's thunder. But Pope Leo, and we're going to go back to Rome at 11:35 and get reaction outside the Vatican. But he is now Leo the 14th. Spiritual leader of the world's 1.4 billion Catholics. ABC News contributor Father James Martin with more on who he is.
Leo the 13th, who he's kind of nodding to, was a pope who was really considered the father of Catholic social teaching, and that means someone who stood with the poor, workers, labor unions, and he really started, Leo the 13th started the modern tradition of Catholic social teaching. And so what Leo the 14th is doing is paying tribute to him and saying, I too stand with workers, with the poor, with labor, and as he said last night on the balcony, with those who suffer too.
Yeah, so Leo the 13th, I hadn't heard the name before, but doing research after yesterday, pretty historic pope there back in the 1880s in a transformational time in the globe. The biggest loser, Deborah, with the election of Pope Leo the 14th. Any idea who the biggest loser is in all this?
The biggest loser?
Yeah.
Who's the biggest loser?
Leo DiCaprio. He is no longer the most famous Leo on the planet right now.
I guess not. Well, he goes by Leonardo. So
Well, but he's been referred to as Leo, right? Oh,
Yeah.
Did you see that new Leo movie? Now, anytime anyone says Leo, they're not going to think of, DiCaprio. You're going to think, the Pope. I bet if you even go to Google, Leo, before it would be Leo and it would autofill DiCaprio. And now it's going to autofill Leo the 14th. We'll have Leonardo DiCaprio on the show on Monday. We'll get his reaction to to the Pope taking the spotlight away from him. All right, again, we're going to go back to Rome after the news at 11:35. I do want to update this story. Joining us from the State Department from ABC News, it's Shannon Kingston. Shannon, good morning. Thanks for your time. President Trump announced he will appoint a new interim U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia. Who is the interim U.S. attorney going to be, and what's the reaction been in D.C.?
Well, he's picked a name that many people will probably be familiar with, Jeanine Pirro, perhaps better known as Judge Jeanine. She's a Fox News host. President Trump is calling her incredibly well qualified for the position. And yes, he's moving forward with Jeanine Pirro after he was forced to withdraw his initial pick for the spot, Ed Martin, after Martin failed to attract enough Republican support due to his ties to some politically controversial issues in the past, his defense of January 6th rioters, and questions about his overall qualifications and experience level.
So Martin out, Judge Jeanine in. Aside from how we know her, right, from her appearances on Fox News and Judge Jeanine, prior to that, what's her legal background? What's her history like?
Well, she does have a very significant level of experience. She was elected as a judge in New York's Westchester County Court in 1990. That was before serving 3 terms as the county's elected district attorney. But there are some similar concerns to Martin here because of her own connection to baseless conspiracy theories surrounding election fraud, things she said on the air in the past. In 2021, the voting technology company Smartmatic sued Fox News and Pirro for spreading false claims about the 2020 election, alleging that company helped steal the vote there. So there are some similar concerns, but there's also questions about whether the White House is even going to try to move forward with the confirmation process when it comes to Pirro's case.
Well, yeah, interim, right? That's the term being used, interim U.S. attorney. How long can an interim U.S. attorney serve?
120 days would be the limit there. And whether after that point or during those goes 120 days, the White House tries to move ahead, tries to drop that interim title, which really, you're right, is the key word here. That is a very open question because right now the president appears to be relying on a very generous interpretation of his appointment powers, his ability to pick the people he wants for all of these roles while subverting the Senate and, cutting them out of any kind of say in the process here, really.
What's the future for Ed Martin then, now that he is not going to get that post?
Well, he is not totally out. The president has announced that Ed Martin will be serving as the pardon attorney at the Department of Justice and says he will also be the director of the DOJ's working group on weaponization. So that's efforts to determine whether, how the DOJ has been used to go after certain individuals.
Shannon Kingston from ABC News joining us here on the Mark Arum Show from the State Department. By some count, Jeanine is the 23rd former Fox News employee now in the Trump administration. Is that well dry, or are there more possible appointees at Fox News that President Trump could tap into?
I'm sure there's also always more possibility there, but you are right. There are an awful lot of Fox News past and current personalities, employees that have now taken on these prominent roles in the administration. One thing that really appeals to the president is an on-air presence, someone who's on the airwaves a lot, on TV a lot, someone who has defended him in the past, which, of course, we know many Fox News personalities have done. So, yes, there are many prominent roles, of course, including the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth.
Indeed. That's the big name. Shannon, have a great weekend. As always, we appreciate your time.
Thanks. You too, Mark.
All right. I said Leo DiCaprio is the biggest loser in the Pope Leo selection. Who's the biggest loser in Judge Jeanine getting appointed interim U.S. District Attorney for D.C.? You don't have to answer. It's the recruiter for Fox News, or like the person that, like, 23 people from Fox News are now, like, the person in charge of hiring at Fox News has got to be like, you've got to be kidding me. Stop. What am I going to do now? They have all these holes to fill. 23. We had Erickson on a couple of weeks ago. I don't remember. I said, are you mad that you didn't take a bigger, because he'd been offered roles at Fox News, bigger roles. I'm like, are you mad that you didn't take that and you could be, on the cabinet right now? He's like, no, I'm fine. I'm doing okay. You can hear Eric, by the way, live, noon to 3 here on WSB Radio. Yeah, whoever's in charge of hiring at Fox News is they might even quit. Like another one gone. 23 Fox News employees now working in the Trump administration. C'est la vie. C'est la vie. If any other Fox employees gets hired, we'll bring it to you live here on 95.5 WSB. All right, Deborah, one more Pope-related story. I think this is the greatest Pope-related story. So a lot of us were rooting for Pizza Ball to get in, but he didn't. Obviously, it's now Pope Leo XIV. But there was an unusual ban during conclave for the cardinals that were voting on the next pope. What was banned?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about food in the Vatican yesterday. Well, during the conclave, the cardinals are banned from eating things like stuffed pasta, so think ravioli, or anything like a whole chicken, anything where you can stuff things in. And this is because in the past, anything that was stuffed might have special messages or secrets in them, and they didn't want anybody passing any information to the cardinals. So now all the food is inspected in case there's poisoning or anything, and the kitchen actually has surveillance cameras.
That's insane. So that's why ravioli are banned from the conclave, because someone might sneak a message into a ravioli.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
If the conclave started taking too long, they would limit their food to 1 meal per day. So maybe that's why they were only down to 2 days. Like, everybody was hungry and they just wanted to be done with it.
So you could hide a message in a tamale, right?
You could a tamale,
yeah. An empanada.
Yep.
A knish. What are some foods you could have? Obviously, a fortune cookie. They couldn't call out for Chinese takeout because you could literally.
Spies Like Us. Remember when they're cheating on the test and they're pulling? Chevy Chase is pulling up.
Great movie. That's insane. You know what I forgot to ask when we had Katie Perjean McGrady on? I want to know if we'll ever see the vote totals. So I think it was the 4th or 5th vote that Leo was elected on. Was he leading the whole way? On the first ballot, was he in 2nd or 3rd? And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, we get the results, the election results, the primary. I want to know. See if you can find that, Gnocchi, if the vote totals are ever released from the Cardinals. Because I want to know, like, was it a come from behind win on the first ballot? Was Leo, in 6th place? and then he stormed ahead. I mean, I guess that's just a numbers nerd that I am, that I want to know the interesting. I forgot to ask Katie about that. Dagnabbit. Anywho. All right, it's 11:17 on the Mark Arum Show. A reminder, coming up after the new news, I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K a day bonus splits, another chance for you to win $1,000 like Linda in Atlanta did last hour. But first, let's check the ride around town. Joining us from Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Good morning, Andrew Seco.
Good morning, my friend Mark. We're looking at some better news near Spaghetti Junction. 85 meets 285 at DeKalb. Had a crash that's since been cleared. All lanes back open. 85 north merging from 285, but still seeing some brake lights taking you back into Dunwoody. And some volume in and out of downtown. 75, 85 north and south. Seeing the brake lights. Anywhere you're trying to go northbound, they start at Langford Parkway just in East Point. Southbound trouble starting just south of 400 on 85 proper, stretching you down towards Freedom Parkway. This is sponsored by the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. The 2025 FIFA Club World Cup is coming to Atlanta. Get ready for a global soccer showdown at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Don't just watch history, be there. Get tickets at FIFA.com/tickets. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
That is awesome.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
This is Jill from Roswell, and I just won $1,000.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 12.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
on 95.5 WSB.
Can you remember the last time you turned on the shower and all you got was cold water? Hopefully you don't have a fresh memory of that. Hey, it's Mark Arum. I want you to check out my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Great new deal on a new water heater. Check it out, guys. Only $29.99 a month and no payments for 3 whole months. No credit check and an unbeatable lifetime warranty. Or you want to go tankless? It's only $59.99 a month and you can enjoy endless hot water. Think about those long, hot showers in the cold, cold winter. Their new water heater installations come with their 100% satisfaction guarantee, same-day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. And with their Comfort as a Service program, you get lifetime repair and maintenance, no additional charges ever, no money down, and just easy monthly payments. So new water heater, $29.99 a month, or tankless, $59.99 a month. Amazing deal. Amazing hot water, amazing service. Go online to reliableair.com.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
This is Scott Slade. Nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier, the better. Like me. My doctor saw one lab work number that led to a diagnosis early enough, so I still had options. That's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation. Virtual imaging's LD CT whole body scan can be invaluable, giving you time and options for early treatment. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. For a limited time, Virtual Imaging is offering their LDCT body scan for only $995 per scan. That's a $2,495 value. Now, appointments must be scheduled in May. There are a limited number of scans available at this price, so a few minimum requirements may apply. Don't put this off. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Hey, it's Belinda for the board-certified plastic surgeons at Marietta Plastic Surgery. I've trusted their team for years. Doctors West, McNeil, Hanna, and Biswas have been serving the Atlanta area for over 25 years with expert surgical and non-surgical care. With warmer weather on the way, are you summer ready? Marietta Plastic Surgery is here to help you look and feel your best. They now offer Awake Liposuction, a less invasive way to sculpt your body with less downtime. And their med spa still has all your go-to treatments like Botox and fillers, microneedling, Diamond Glow, hydrofacials, and Morpheus 8 for radiant, glowing skin. Looking to restore thinning hair or reshape your hairline? Marietta Plastic Surgery is the only practice in the region that offers the gold standard in hair restoration, the Foundation Aesthetic Hair Restoration Method. Visit MariettaPlasticSurgery.com to schedule your consultation today.
Gonna tell Aunt Mary about Uncle John. He claimed he has a misery, but he having a lot of fun, oh baby.
5 years ago today, we lost a legend. Rock and roll pioneer Little Richard died May 9th, 2020. 5 years ago at the age of 87, battling bone cancer.
Everything that Uncle John need, oh baby.
He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right, Deborah? He should be.
Yeah. One of the first classes.
You never know with those voters.
The early classes, you definitely have.
I'm more confused by Rock and Roll Hall of Fame voters than primary voters in politics. No complaints with the voters, though, that elected the first American pope ever in the 200 and almost 50 years of our country. First American Pope, Pope Leo XIV. We'll go back to Rome after the news at 11:35. Do want to update some breaking news. A former Supreme Court justice has passed away, David Soter. Has died at the age of 85. Our buddy Thane Rosenbaum, legal analyst from CBS, on the passing of the former Supreme Court justice.
In an age where the nomination of Supreme Court justices are very public affairs, filled with a lot of political tension and conflict, not to mention the spotlight of the media, Justice Souter was a very modest and demure man, and his nomination reflected that. In fact, there wasn't that much known about him before he reached the court. He was largely known as a state Supreme Court justice and not one from the federal bench.
He was from New Hampshire, a Republican in New Hampshire. He resigned from the court, retired from the court, I should say, in June of 2009, giving Barack Obama his first Supreme Court vacancy to fill. Again, Justice Soter has died at the age of 85. That's one thing you hold for life, the title. Like, I'm going to be a reverend for life, obviously. I think I don't have to renew that. I think that's it. But you're a Supreme Court justice. Even you retire, you'll always be justice. I think there's a lot of positions like that. Ambassador, like once you're an ambassador, even if you retire, like Ambassador Andrew Young, you see him, you still call him ambassador. A president, you're always going to be Mr. President. I'm trying to think of other general. Right? If you retire as a general, you'll always be general. Interesting. Anyway, wanted to pass that along to you. All right, Austin's got your news, weather, and traffic. A couple of big stories. We're going to get back to the White House and find out what's going on with the possible negotiations up front with China this weekend. And Seth Doan from CBS was outside the Vatican yesterday when Pope Leo was presented to the world. We'll get his reaction when we come back. It's the Mark Arum Show on 95.5 WSB.
Hey, is your air conditioning starting to talk to you as things get warmer? This is Scott Slade. Well, if it is, then you should be talking to Ragsdale Heating and Air now. Let me tell you why. These are the guys I've trusted for many years. It comes down to they're great people, many with the company for 10, 20, even 30 years. I look forward to having Ragsdale Heating and Air technicians in my home. They take care of the little things before they become big problems, like the filter I forgot to change. And if you need a new system, this is a great time to take advantage of up to $1,700 off a new Carrier home comfort system. And since it's Ragsdale, you know it's going to come with their trusted 15-year parts and labor warranty. 15 years. Ragsdale's the name I know you can trust for plumbing, electrical, and insulation needs, too. I've used them all, and I always come away impressed. Schedule your visit online at ragsdaleair.com or give one of their friendly customer service reps a call. Ragsdale is the name I know you can trust.
Window Nation is having their semi-annual sale, including 60% off a house full of windows, a free entry door, and no money down, interest, or payments until 2027. Hurry, the sale ends soon. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com today.
Sell your home and get paid twice? Orchard makes it happen. Get cash up front to buy now, then more when your old place sells for top dollar. Go to orchard.com or call 1-844-421-SELL.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
And 62225. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelly Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for the Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday noon to 1 right here on 95.5 WSB.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. I'm Austin Eller. This news brought to you by Rocco's European Garage. Our top story, newly elected Pope Leo already has a full schedule as he begins his new role. His older brother, John Prevost, says he always knew his brother was destined for greatness.
From the time he was 5 or 6 years old, he knew this was his fate. Not that he would be a pope, that he would be a priest.
Pope Leo is the first American to become the pope. He was born in Chicago and also holds citizenship in Peru. He held his first mass this morning. Retired Supreme Court Justice David Souter has died at the age of 85.
Justice Souter will be remembered for, among other reasons, being one of those Supreme Court appointments that broke the heart of the president who appointed him. President George H. Bush appointed both Justices Souter and Clarence Thomas. Thomas became a darling of both legal and social conservatives, while Souter often joined the liberal bloc.
Thane Rosenbaum reports he served on the nation's highest court from 1990 to 2009. Another blackout for air traffic controllers this morning at Newark Airport. Air traffic controllers there tell a FedEx plane and a private jet arriving from Cyprus that they had another brief outage.
We just had another brief radar outage, so just in case that happens again, for your purposes, if you can't reach me, just stay at or above 3,000 until you're passing Morristown, and then you can just clear for the approach from there.
That audio of the traffic controller from liveatc.net. The FAA says it is looking into this issue, and it hasn't been reported elsewhere so far. A new poll finds a majority of U.S. adults do not approve of the White House's handling of issues related to colleges and universities. That's amid President Trump's threats to cut funding for those that don't comply with his agenda. The Associated Press NORC poll finds 56% of Americans disapprove. The president says changes needed at the nation's universities, which he says have become hotbeds of liberalism and anti-Semitism. No injuries are reported after a partial train derailment in Smyrna overnight.
17 rail cars come off the tracks in the woods near Campbell Road and Nancy Circle, but a statement from CSX says no hazardous materials were released and there's no threat to the safety of the surrounding community. A few homes are near the accident scene, but no roads are affected by the derailment. CSX says Cobb County firefighters and police were quick to respond to the accident shortly after 2 a.m. Cleanup's still underway, and there's no word yet on the cause of the derailment. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
Well, a new name's been announced for one major downtown Atlanta MARTA station. MARTA board member Thomas Worthy says the change is needed ahead of the 2026 World Cup because of recent changes near the Georgia World Congress Center.
It has been proposed that the name of the Georgia World Congress Center CNN rail station be changed to the Sports, Entertainment, and Convention District Rail Station, also known as the SEC District Station.
Signage and rail maps all expected to be changed by the end of this year, and the board says it wanted a name that doesn't specifically name any businesses. It's 11:33 now. Live team coverage of traffic and weather. Andrew Seco is live in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hey, just watch some trouble pull up in the left lane here through Fulton County as you're riding into Midtown 85 South. Got blockage in the left lane just past Buford Highway. That's exit 86. Adding some extra brake lights and a couple extra minutes commute time on your way towards the downtown connector. Northbound on the connector, got some brake lights. May have something jammity up northbound just north of University Avenue. That's exit 244. Seeing the back door taking you to Langford Parkway, stretched all the way up towards Freedom Parkway. And the merge from 285 to 85 northbound, still a little crowded. Seeing the brake lights taking you from Buford Highway into 85 north. You're slowing and going all the way up towards Indian Trail Road. That's exit 101. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly cloudy for today, high 81, lows tonight in the low 60s. Tomorrow, rain showers through the morning and afternoon hours, high 65. The rain continues for Sunday, morning low 58, afternoon high 67.
Right now it's 70 degrees in Buford, 77 in College Park, and 75 in Midtown. More news at noon. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
A new pope is chosen.
We have white smoke signals coming from the Sistine Chapel at this hour.
Catholics worldwide celebrate the first American pope.
Cardinal Robert Prevost, he will choose for himself the name Pope Leo XIV.
Listen for updates throughout the day from Rome and around the world.
Very historic moment.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
There was the roar from outside the Vatican as Pope Leo emerged on the balcony. CBS's Seth Doan was there. He joins us next on the Mark Arum Show.
Water is definitely your home's worst enemy, and your roof is your first line of defense. But how's your roof holding up? Home Fix It Show host Dave Baker here for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Do this. Take a walk around your house. Notice any granules in your downspouts and gutters are scattered on the ground around your home? Granules are the protective coating on shingles. They look like small black rocks or sand, but they tend to come off as your roof ages, and if you're seeing them, your old roof may need replacing. When your roof needs replacing, you need Findlay Roofing. Findlay is a team I trust. They've mastered the roof replacement process with impeccable, high-quality work. Findlay has seen it all, they've replaced it all, and they've warrantied it all. Plus, Findlay stands behind their work with a lifetime leak-free warranty on labor and materials at no additional cost. They also offer 0% financing. So when your roof needs replacing, think of Findlay first. Get started today with a free roof analysis. Schedule now at FindlayRoofing.com.
Roof. Attention seniors, do you want more personalized healthcare with more one-on-one time with your doctor? Then join us at the grand opening of CenterWell Swanee. CenterWell offers senior-focused primary care that's centered on you. Celebrate with us on Wednesday, May 14th, near the Walmart off Interstate 85 here in Swanee, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Enjoy food, music, and more at this free community event. Plus, tour the new doctor's office and meet the care team. For details, visit CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com. That's CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com.
At Shane Company, we love a spring engagement, but you might be wondering, how do I find the perfect engagement ring? As a trusted family jeweler since 1929, we get asked this a lot. We have a wide selection of ring settings, like vintage designs with romantic details, floral settings inspired by nature, and classic styles with clean lines and sleek metals. Dreaming of the most beautiful diamond you've ever seen? At Shane Company, we handpick only the sparkliest center stones in all shapes and sizes, from oval to round to marquise, and more. We have gorgeous natural and lab-grown diamonds at competitive prices, in-store, ready to compare, side by side. Drawn to certain colors? We're known for our rainbow of vivid natural sapphires, including shades of blue, straight out of a fairy tale. handpicked by our owner, Tom Shane. At Shane Company, we have the best free lifetime warranty that includes the Centerstone, plus resizing, repairs, and cleanings for life. Visit us at shaneco.com or in store. No appointment necessary. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hi, it's Tim Andrews for My Roofer FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you'll be able to get it in the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2.
Ox, a camel, and a kangaroo. 11:37 on the final 23 minutes of the Mark Arum Show for this wonderful week it has been. Don't forget, after the new news, I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000 right here on WSB Radio. But you don't have to wait 30 minutes. We're going to give something away right now. Deborah, what do we have today, my friend?
Tickets to go check out Alice Cooper and Judas Priest at Ameris Bank Amphitheater on Thursday, September 18th.
Phenomenal. Let's do the 11th caller to Lil Gnocchi. 11th caller to 404-872-0750. 11th caller to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to what's going to be an amazing concert September 18th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater, Alice Cooper and Judas Priest. All right, continue our coverage of the selection of the first American Pope ever, Pope Leo the 14th. Joining us from Rome, CBS News' Steve O'Kane. Seth, excuse me, Seth. Good morning. It's been a crazy 24 hours for you, my friend.
Yeah, 24. Try a couple of months between the time with Francis in the hospital, of course, which was nail biting. You know, we learned how close to death he was a few times later from his doctors. Then that surprise back in the center of St. Peter's Square for Easter, the surprise death the following day. It has been a roller coaster here. And I was just actually sitting up, we were doing the morning show, and I was sitting out looking out, we're just over St. Peter's, the Basilica in the square, and it is so calm and so tranquil right now. And, you know, I'm not Catholic, but it's interesting to think about the continuity of this Pope. You see him stepping out as a guy people are running to Google, now Pope Leo the 14th. And he is the 267th successor to St. Peter. He is now running the Catholic Church and chief executive of Vatican City. And there is this kind of calm sense of continuity. But certainly for people who were supporters of Pope Francis, all indications are that this is a pope who will follow in the mold in many ways of Pope Francis, though perhaps a little bit more traditional in the way he approaches doctrinal issues. He has some of the same kind of approach as Francis in terms of being a pastor, but maybe a little bit more of a traditionalist on teachings.
See a centrist pick almost in some regards there. What was the reaction from the crowd when he first came out on the balcony, Seth?
It was shock, honestly. We were there. I was amid 100 or so thousand people in the square, and the sun was setting behind St. Peter's Basilica, so we were all kind of trying to see exactly what was happening. There were big, what do they call it, like jumbotrons kind of up to watch. But when it went through the crowd, we all kind of stood up. It was like the whole crowd got 2 feet taller. And then people were just shocked. I was next to a guy from Paraguay whose jaw just dropped, and he said, an American Pope? And I said to the colleagues I was with, I was like, wow, they just said Prevost. That's the Cardinal Prevost. That's the American. It was said always that he's the first American Pope. It was always kind of said around these parts that you couldn't have an American Pope because you wouldn't have a superpower also at the head of the church. Obviously, I am understanding from people that we've spoken within the Vatican, the cardinals did not feel that geography mattered in this case. But you also look at Prevost's background, and this is a guy who was born in Chicago but became a naturalized citizen of Peru, speaks at least 5 languages, Spanish fluently, lived here in Rome. So he is certainly an American, but has a broad global perspective as well.
Very international travels. Now, Seth, you're among many of a cadre of Vatican watchers. So I was surprised as American. I would imagine most Vatican watchers were shocked as well.
Absolutely shocked. But, now we've been reading all of the, looking back, people are saying, actually, I interviewed one man, Austin Ivory, who is a papal biographer for for Francis, and he said to me the other day, it's going to be an American pope. He said it on TV, and we used the piece. And after we used it, I thought, should we have used it? Because he's so definitive.
Yeah.
And it turns out he's right. So we went back and talked with him again this morning, and Irie said to us, listen, if you look at the qualifications, he has a lot of what the church, what these cardinals, at least, as you know, 108 of the 133 electors, the cardinal electors were appointed, made cardinals by Francis. So the question was always, has he kind of stacked the deck, so to speak, for someone in his mold, or in his effort to have such geographic diversity in the College of Cardinals, was there enough of a wild card, so many unknown votees? But it turns out it appears that this is someone that Francis had liked very well, had just elevated to cardinal in 2023. So his kind of ascension through the church ranks is quite fast.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Seth Doan from CBS News joining us live in Rome here on the Mark Arum Show. Again, not the American not mentioned as one of the favorites. I personally thought it would be the Cardinal from the Philippines. I thought, and I didn't bet on it, but I thought that would be logical. Yeah. Also, there were a couple of Italian Cardinals that thought, hey, let's bring this back to Italy. Yeah. Were the Italians in Rome upset that one of their guys wasn't selected the next pope?
I heard lots of people, just people who know I'm an American, Italian friends and such, saying, oh, congratulations, congratulations, last night. And there was certainly kind of, look, I think there is this sense of continuity here and a belief that the church will go forward. And I think there's an interest in the novelty of having an American here. Certainly people had their favorites. Matteo Zuppi, the Archbishop of Bologna, was one of, it seemed that Cardinal Parolin, Pietro Parolin, the Vatican's number 2, he was the man to beat going into this. It was thought that he had kind of 40 votes of the 89 needed. So everyone had their favorites, but I think that there is a sense of, okay, we found a man, and let's move on. And certainly for Catholics, feeling like, okay, let's try to divide to heal some divisions within the church, and Prevost may be uniquely able to do that. He has some more conservative leanings, but he has kind of Francis's approach, and an English speaker. He could reach out certainly to America. We've been seeing declining numbers of Catholics in America. So I think a really interesting pick looking back.
Final quick question for you, Seth. The rapidity, how quickly he was selected, only 4 or 5 ballots. Surprised by how quickly he got done?
Yeah, Mark, I won't bore you with the history, but I was up in Viterbo earlier in the week, north of Rome, where the first conclave was. It lasted 1,006 days, which is why they started locking cardinals in to make them make a decision. They ended up taking the roof of the Palazzo off so that the elements would come in and kind of push along a decision. I think Vatican watchers all along knew that, or were saying that this would be quick, relatively quick, because the church wants to be seen as united, not divided.
Seth Doan, CBS News, Rome, front seat to history of the last few months. Seth, really appreciate your time this morning, my friend.
Well, thanks, Mike.
There you go. Historic moment. You heard it here live on WSB Radio. I was at home listening to the radio, watching TV. Deborah was watching. And as always, social media was on fire after the announcement of Pope Leo the 14th, the first American Pope. One of the funniest things I saw, Deborah, was someone, I think it was on Twitter, posted, how much do you think the Vatican would charge to use their chimney for a gender reveal?
Oh, gosh. That's awful. It's not funny.
I thought that was pretty. I mean, obviously, we wouldn't do it, but obviously, we were waiting. We had the black smoke, and then white smoke. I thought it was funny. Speaking of gender reveal, congratulations to our own favorite millennial, Randy O. She's a mom, Deborah.
Oh,
yeah,
delicious.
I know. She gave birth yesterday morning to a healthy baby boy, Rashad Ramel Henderson II. He's going to go by Ace.
Yep.
Which is a good nickname. 7 pounds, 11.5 ounces. I don't know if that's abnormally big, abnormally small, in the middle.
I think that's about average.
That's about
average.
Yeah.
Girls were about
so, Randalicious is a mom now. Congrats, Randy. We miss you terribly. Rashad Ramel Henderson II. That's a heck of a name. Great name. Ace, we're going to call him. Quick update. This is coming in today in Russia, celebrating the end of World War II with a massive military parade. President Vladimir Putin continuing to bombard Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, which is in turn launching drones targeting Moscow as the war drags on. ABC News chief global affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz is there, speaking with Putin's spokesman, Dmitry Peskov. Peskov, he said, with a P.
Does President Putin consider Donald Trump a friend, an adversary? How would you describe their relationship?
He respects him a lot. He considers him a wise man, a brave man, and a man who can contribute to really, restoration, reviving our bilateral relations.
So what would you say?
It doesn't mean that we're going to agree on everything. We will continue to disagree on lots of things. It's inevitable.
There you go. Martha Rabbits from ABC talking to Vladimir Putin spokesman Dmitry Peskov, again celebrating the 80th year anniversary of the end of World War II. Big military parade. Who is sitting right next to Vladimir Putin? The president of China. President Xi sitting right next to Putin during that military parade. All right, when we come back, congrats, by the way, to Paul in Oakwood. He won that amazing pair of tickets to see, refresh my memory, Deborah?
Cooper and Judas Priest.
There you go. Alice Cooper, Judas Priest, September 18th at Maris Bank Amphitheater. Another chance for you to win an amazing prize coming up after the noon news. I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K a day bonus blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000. But first, we got to check the Friday morning ride. Back to Andrew Seco.
And right now, still dealing with some trouble rolling into Midtown. Left lane knocked out. Looks like we got us a crash. 85 south of Beaufort Highway, exit 86. Adding some extra brake lights on your way towards the heart of Midtown. And a little stoppage through Spaghetti Junction where 85 meets 285 at a cab. You're on the inner loop, 285 east at Beaufort Highway, slowing and going as you're merging, and the brake lights let you go finally once you get towards Beaver Ruin Road. That's exit number 102. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
The morning rush hour, the evening rush hour, and everything in between.
Slow spots are starting to build up the east side perimeter on 285 north.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic
We've
Center.
had several breakdowns, including one in the express lane.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey, it's Belinda for the board-certified plastic surgeons at Marietta Plastic Surgery. I've trusted their team for years. Doctors West, McNeil, Hanna, and Biswas have been serving the Atlanta area for over 25 years with expert surgical and non-surgical care. With warmer weather on the way, are you summer ready? Marietta Plastic Surgery is here to help you look and feel your best. They now offer Awake Liposuction, a less invasive way to sculpt your body with less downtime. And their med spa still has all your go-to treatments like Botox and fillers, microneedling, Diamond Glow, hydrofacials, and Morpheus 8 for radiant, glowing skin. Looking to restore thinning hair or reshape your hairline? Marietta Plastic Surgery is the only practice in the region that offers the gold standard in hair restoration, the Foundation Aesthetic Hair Restoration Method. Visit MariettaPlasticSurgery.com to schedule your consultation today.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Stylin'. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
N62225. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Rates are up, rates are down. Every day it's something different. If you're curious about what's going on and when the best time will be to buy or refinance your home, call the experts I trust at Myland. This is Scott Slade. There's a reason the guys and gals at Myland are able to close loans that other local banks just can't. The folks at Myland are local and somebody you can trust to make sure you get the best loan for your needs at the best rate. You don't have to take my word for it. Here are lines from some recent testimonials. Myland kept me up to date and informed with every step of the way. They make you feel like you're one of the most important clients they have. Myland specializes in home financing, and they've seen it all. So whether you want to access the equity in your home to pay for other debts, buy a new home, or anything else, Myland is the place to call. 770-817-2000. That's 770-817-2000. Or online, it's myland.com. Spelled it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS and Georgia Mortgage License C1408769. Myland located at 8995 Westside Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. Myland is an equal housing lender.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Check out our great selection of sweet surprises for Mother's Day. You'll find colorful bouquets, decadent chocolates, and more. Happy Mother's Day from Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Dave Baker here. If the temperature inside your house doesn't fit with the temperature outside your house, you need to call Coolray Heating and Cooling. In May, you can get your HVAC system tuned up for only $79, or you can get up to $2,250 in rebates with the purchase of a complete Carrier comfort system, plus get free attic insulation. For comfort that lasts all year, visit Coolray.com to schedule your appointment today. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Television shows don't last forever. I know one day I'll go on to a new job working with new people. But nothing will ever match my years on FYI.
That's Candace Bergen. She turned 79 years old today. Murphy Brown, never had her on the show. Would love to talk to her. Rosario Dawson, big fan. She turns 46 today. I think I've had Rosario Dawson on the show. I can't remember. My memory fails. All right, this story I'm so excited about, Deborah. As a pet lover, owner of 2 dogs, I've seen these videos on social media where there's some sort of an AI translator where you can talk into this app and it will bark out instructions to your dog, like, sit down, and it'll sit down, or give me your paw, and, like, it'll bark out. Is this a real thing?
Well, it's a company out of China, a Chinese tech company, and they're hoping to use artificial intelligence, which we've all seen what that can do, to help decipher dog and cat sounds and then possibly turn that into human language. So we could be having conversations
reverse
with our
thing.
pets.
So it'll
Yeah.
translate what they're saying to you.
Yeah.
Have you seen that video I'm talking about, social media, though?
I don't think
It's
so.
like some AI thing where I could be like, Soba, get off the couch. And it'll go, bah, 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 and then the dog gets off the couch. Like, I can't.
Doesn't Sopa already understand you?
Yeah, but she doesn't listen to me. But have you not seen those videos?
I have not.
I got to find out if those are legit or not, because that'd be a game changer.
I don't need one of those for a bunny, so
Yeah.
I know.
Hey, AI can do anything. It could be Bunny. Hey, one final thing on the Pope. This is Cardinal Robert McElroy, former Bishop of San Diego, talking about the election of Pope Louis XIV and the first American Pope in history. And was it the fact that he was an American a factor in his election?
I think the impact of him being an American was almost negligible in the deliberations of the conclave.
Still can't believe it. We got an American Pope, friend. Let's see if that's today's fact of the day. If it is, that's pretty lame. If your fact of the day is, hey, we got an American Pope for the first time.
Longoria's fact of the day.
No, it's not.
All right.
It's National Butterscotch Brownie Day. And while the exact origin of the term butterscotch is debated, it generally is believed to have originated in England in the early 1800s. A confectioner named Samuel Parkinson in Yorkshire is credited with creating the first butterscotch candies.
I don't know if that's in Deborah's wheelhouse, but I think we need some Pope brownies, Deborah, right? Some sort of a baked
what would
good.
Be a Pope brownie?
I don't know. I'm just looking
He's
to
from
get
Chicago. I'm trying to think of like fellow Midwesterner. So
you know what? Maybe on
something.
Monday I'll get deep dish pizza from Nancy's to celebrate the Chicago Pope.
That's Axel.
Oh yeah, all right, we'll get that. And Chicago style hot dogs, the beef, the hot Italian beef. Good stuff. Yeah, we're always bringing it back to food here on the Mark Arum Show. Next week on the show, Colin Blunstone of The Zombies, filmmaker Michael Townsend, comedians Heather McCann and George Wallace, actor Stephen Fry, and of course Eric Erickson, Stephen Lawson, Bill Crane. We got amazing stuff lined up for you next week.
Now, are you guys ready for the Mark Arum Star of the Show?
Stars of the show to our Pope correspondent, Seth Doan, joined us live from Rome. He gets the star of the show. Papal expert Katie Prejean McGrady, fantastic stuff from her. Bill Crane, political analyst, joins us live. He gets a star of the show. Shannon Kingston joins us from the State Department. Deborah facilitated the first radio interview from Congressman Buddy Carter since he announced his run for the Senate. So Deborah gets a star of the show. Longoria, Little Gnocchi, good job, guys. I'm going to give one for myself for bringing in 24 donuts on Donut Friday and not getting a single one for myself. Social medias are active throughout the weekend, at Mark Arum. Don't go anywhere. Right after the new news, Austin's going to drop some knowledge on you. When he does, I'm going to come back, give you a keyword in the 5K a day bonus splits, another chance for you to win $1,000 just minutes away here on WSB Radio. Stay safe. Have a great Friday, Atlanta.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard, sponsored by Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical.
Credit card debt is now the highest it's been going back to 2011, 2012. Some of it is because of people being stretched, not having enough money just to pay for life. But I've looked at the data, and a lot of it is people just shop until they drop. It's not buying have-tos for many people, it's want-tos. If you are caught up in a debt cycle from want-tos, change your habits now.
Hope. It's more than a word. It's a breakthrough in the making. At City of Hope, we're pushing the boundaries of science, targeting cancer at the molecular level, with teams of experts working together to personalize a treatment plan right down to your DNA with unprecedented speed, making every second count, with appointments in as little as 24 hours. City of Hope, advancing cancer care at life-saving speed. Learn more at cityofhope.org.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 12 o'clock, I'm Austin Eller. This news brought to you by Jim Ellis Automotive. Our top story, retired Supreme Court Justice David Souter has died at the age of 85. He retired in June 2009 after serving for 19 years between 1990 and 2009. This early clip of Souter reacting to his nomination.